Yeah.
Why for you hit me with rock?
Uta solo whiny so much
Hey
like
guys,
pushy.
welcome to Pop Culture Minefield, and thank God it's Friday, because this is our dais, our panel. Not everybody's here yet. We're expecting a few more people to show up, but we got Fat Steven Seagal, T-shirted historian,
Yay!
my partner in crime, Keith, and then of
What's
course
up,
we got
everyone?
Matt Vader. That's Darth Vader's first cousin's roommate's best friend.
That's right.
And then, of course, journalist extraordinaire Andrea Seabrook from NPR.
Ooh, NPR.
Yes, that's where they talk like this. Hey, could I have some more of those sweaty balls?
Oh, no.
Can you bring over the coffee? I would like to get another dozen of
Good times.
espresso.
Good times.
Well, welcome to
That was a
Pop Culture
valuable point there.
Minefield. I will be your
you have
ASMR
such a good
host for
sense of humor
today,
about what you
T-shirted
do.
historian. Today we
we
are going
want-
to talk about the fall of the Roman Empire.
While
By
we
the way,
talk about
historical
the
fact.
Empire, we are
Hold
going
on.
to slowly
Did you know
peel this
The
onion.
most
that in order
important thing in the
to-
world is whale song. I would like to talk about that for
in order to
25
create
Have you
hours.
ever heard the male
Romans
call the
actually used
mating?
to gather large jars of urine
Oh, God, he's still going.
and soak
Okay,
it.
that's it. Time.
Have you ever heard the mating call of the blue-haired land whale? It sounds like this.
This would definitely be a fine time for my parents not to be listening.
All right, so I've
You're a
muted
dick.
my friends Steven and T-shirt for a minute so we can get this show started. I'm going to announce just right off the bat that part of the show is going to be discussing not just celebrities in social media and how we interact with them, but we're going to be discussing also Andrea's first-hand contact with Captain James T. Kirk Spock. Why? Yesterday when he blocked her
What?
because she made the mistake of asking, "Can I interview you?" And
That was it?
and maybe it was because, look, he's 90 years old. Okay, we have to take this into account. And God damn it, he has some of the best, most poignant fucking posts. But he has shown in the past, and I think that part of this is something that was you posted or reposted today on your page, Andrea, that too many people fucking want to jump into the conversation. I've got something to add to this. And they convolute it, and they create a problem for the journalist, the number one person, trying to talk to that person. I think that if certain people hadn't opened their fucking internet big mouths yesterday, you wouldn't have been blocked.
Probably not, but you know, it goes with the territory.
I know, but we have another friend who was blocked, of course, Doomcock, and another famous group of guys that I think many of us follow is Red Letter Media, and they got cock blocked by the Shat.
And Yoo-hoo, and like last night I collected stories of people who have been, my word, ready? Shat canned.
Shat canned. I like it. Because, number one, above all, I'm hoping you're included in this. I'm a huge William Shatner fan. I fucking love this guy. He takes on the assholes of the internet and does it with such relish and glee.
Yeah.
And this guy's fucking 90 years old taking on these little snowflakes, and it's awesome.
Does
But,
that mean that we're the assholes of the internet if he's blocking us?
Well,
I am, apparently.
yeah. Well, Andrea, you're just really an ass. I have trouble dealing with you.
I like to set expectations there, because then people are
Matt actually asked me the first time he read some of your stuff. He goes, "Can I block her?" And I'm like, "No, she's in our group. You can't block her." And he goes, "Can I just block her when she posts stuff?" I'm like, "No, Matt, don't." But Matt's kind of a jerk too.
What did I say? It's okay. You
never said any of that. I'm making up stuff because I like to stir up trouble.
Hey, in my defense, I like Shat so much. I used to read all the Tech War novels. I've got all of them at home, and I read them all.
I enjoyed those.
They were
books.
fun.
Did not enjoy the TV movies,
No,
but I did enjoy those books.
Yeah.
What is it about Greg Evigan that you didn't like?
Oh, it's not Greg Evigan. It's just that the series productions were just kind of television.
Canadian. It was cheap. Come on.
Yeah, it was cheap.
90s.
Yeah, it's like Fat
90s.
Steven
What do you
during the
expect?
buffet.
Can
I
someone
do that sound when
can
somebody
someone
makes a cheap shot at Steve for the whole.
can
fat
someone
thing.
write in the private chat when the punchline comes? I'll be waiting. Thank you.
Oh,
It's fighting words.
Oh,
I am.
wow.
I'm gonna
so
punch you so
chastised.
hard. But as we were talking about just before we started doing the show, I kind of shit on T-shirt historian's cousin yesterday, and I think
R.
he
Kelly?
wants to continue interacting with me, and I'm like, I don't have anything I really want to talk to you about. It's like, no.
He's really not a bad guy. He's a big
I'm
comics
sure,
nerd.
But he
He
irritated me because
actually- yeah, he's irritating. But
I don't like it when people do that. They jump on what it was is T-shirt and I are both fans of Blade Runner. It's like both of our number one favorite films of all time.
big time.
And there are many reasons why it is. And yes, I'm very critical of the film too. I'm very tough on Ridley Scott about his fuck-ups with the film. But the fact is, it is a masterpiece of cinema.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason why the American Film Institute and the British Film Institute listed it as the single most influential film of the 20th century.
I agree.
And it too was influenced by another film, but it has had a greater impact on cinema than even that original film, which was called, come on, Keith, what was that first
Metropolis.
film? Yeah, there you go, Metropolis.
Metropolis. Oh, I love
Hey
that
man,
film.
I don't know if you can say that actually. I think Metropolis had a huge effect on film, but it was
Well,
just
sure it did. It just
smaller
but it happened
films.
so early. It's like
Yes.
a premature ejaculation. Everybody notices it when it happens, but then years later, it's like,
Wait.
didn't you jack off early once? I don't know.
What about Eraserhead? There's another one that's
Keith, I
You know?
apologize on
Yep.
behalf of your parents.
Mom and Dad are here. I'm sorry, but they expect that from me. Keith.
Now you see
know that.
here, kids, you gotta rub it out before you put it out. That's what you gotta
I don't
Maybe
even tell
this
my
is
mom and dad
for
when
me
I
to
get
go
on
do this
YouTube.
quick
The expression on Keith's face is the best right now.
Keith
It's
is
like,
like,
I'm no longer getting my allowance. This
I don't know if I
sucks.
can make this whole show. I might have to leave, go over to my mom's and explain shit to her.
I'm just gonna have to leave these people and just tell them to go fuck off and do my own.
I
thing.
swear,
You know what?
Mom, I swear, doing the show is not community service. I actually chose to do it. It is not community service.
Well, I'm hoping that the Force of Enlightenment's going to be here. I've not heard back from them,
The force of enlightenment.
and I'm also
That's what they
hoping
call
that
themselves.
Tom will pop in, but he's got a busy day today, so I'll
Tom
be surprised.
Connors.
Yes,
No.
Tom Connors.
No, don't tell him that. He'll go all fanboy.
I love Tom Connors. I'm sorry, I'm a fanboy.
Yeah, I'm not even. I was going to go really nasty.
Find
I'm
my
gonna-
face.
Don't. It's
But,
just honest love.
Doc will be here too, as well as our buddy Greg from Fanzine, Script Doctor. God, everybody's got weird schedules today. Matt Vader is like, I'm only available in this period of
Well,
window.
I have to go.
Then
to
Doc is
actual
like,
work
I'm only
here.
available after this period of the window. It's like you guys are going to just slightly, be right over the other. On the
Are we
same
going
show.
to have enough people to play Hollywood Squares?
I'm hoping so. We can fit that many now.
fun.
Dude, I've dreamt of actually having enough boxes to do the Brady Bunch thing.
Oh, totally. That would be so much fun.
I'd
But
like
it's
to
gonna
say
be
now,
like 9 guys and a chick.
I
Well,
can't
that's why
sing.
I'm
I'm
hoping
a
the
rock.
Force of Enlightenment will be here because
Sounds like
that's
a bad
two chicks.
porno title.
Yeah.
Chicks. Okay. Yeah,
I'm a
that's
rock. I'm
And
a
I
rock.
think I invited Kate too, didn't I?
I think so. So that'll be
This is
All
this
told.
is areas where I could really use some help. Is keeping tabs on who's been invited, making
Yeah.
sure everybody's here. Because because like trying to write the copy for these stupid shows that we do, is just exhausting. Yeah, Andrea, I'm a
right.
journalist.
The
I
copy.
shit words. Fuck you, Andrea.
I don't even have to get
Get
close
all
to
up
the
in my
mic to
face.
sound intelligent. The words just flow while peeling an onion.
Well,
Shit, just farted.
I think that's why they invited me onto the shows to make them seem smarter because
Oh, yeah.
I'm a complete dunce. I have no idea what I'm even doing here. So it's all good though.
You're looking great.
Well, from what Gary told me, you're here for the Hooked on Phonics appreciation segment.
Okay.
Gosh.
I did not say that, but that's funny.
Look at Keith. Keith is holding it.
Keith is holding the show together, literally.
Yes.
Literally.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Did I dress appropriately for this stream?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. You look
You
great.
got flannel on?
No, this is Victoria's Secret. The chisel is also Victoria's Secret as well as the jackhammer.
I'm also excited to be invited because I get to hang out with my only black friend Keith up there for a little while.
Wait,
And
Hey,
that's
he's
always fun.
also. Oh wait, no, I have more black.
He's
friends.
black?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
so-
god, I gotta turn on my screen. I never look at my screen.
So
It's
tell
a
us,
dream of
what
mine
do, what do
to
all
have-
black people think about all pop culture?
You know
Come on,
what?
Keith. You're
I would
answering
tell
for your
you.
color.
I would tell you, but then I would mysteriously die of unusual circumstances. And
All of
I
a sudden, you
think
see Jesse Jackson
be
coming in
the-
going, apologize.
Don't worry, Keith.
I
I will save you. I am Batman.
I still got to hold my place to be able to move up when the next brother dies.
I said, I'm moving on up.
To the upper east side.
Now we're all
I
switching
just
to
like to
advertising.
take this time to say that I really love my parents. I do.
Well, the one thing, fanzine is here,
Oh, great.
and nobody seems excited, but I'm happy.
Yay.
No, I love the Dollar Tree.
Oh.
What?
What's up, Van?
What?
What's up, guys?
How you
They
doing?
call me
How you doing?
Dollar Tree again.
No.
Yeah, you got called Dollar Tree.
But you know what I mean, right? You should clip those and use them for actual commercials.
I know.
Like,
I've been
great.
meaning to do it for a while now. I just get lazy.
You should just do a whole segment about best coupons at Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
2 for 1
Well,
internet connections. One will eventually drop out.
If you use
there you
this Dollar Tree coupon, you have spent 1/3 of what you would have spent if you bought both.
I'd just like to say to everyone at the
Yeah.
Dollar Tree,
We love you.
we love you, and we'd like you to become a sponsor of our show.
Yeah, for $1.
My dad would love it. He loves the Dollar Tree, speaking of which.
And
He's
send
like,
us free
everything's a
top ramen.
dollar.
Wait, someone screenshot Gary's face. He's
Oh,
frozen.
yes.
Someone screenshot that face.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. I got it.
I got it.
Everyone got it? Good. Everyone switch your avatar to that face so it looks like he's always frozen.
I don't have it yet.
Oh, I can't do that. Can't do that to Gary.
Yeah.
I can.
I can't do it.
You do
I
that.
can.
You guys are mean.
Anyway, you know
Yes.
what?
Yes, they are.
You know, as we count down, I mean, how many of you really are looking forward to the Snyder Cut next week?
I am.
By this
I am.
time next week, it will have already happened. So, I mean, are you looking forward to it? Are you actually gonna watch it, or are you gonna wait? Or
I am. I'm going to watch it. I'm going
I'm gonna
to
do-
get HBO Max this week. So
I'll be doing a
watch it.
watch
I'm just
party.
not excited.
I have to watch
Well-
it so I can talk about it on the podcast. So, I'm going to watch it anyway.
Okay. Now, I mean, were you fans of the entire movement, or is it more curiosity, or does it actually look good to you? I mean,
okay.
Both.
Personally, I think it looks good. I do think the Snyder Cut looks good. I wasn't the biggest fan of Batman v Superman. I'm straight honest with that.
Mhm.
I've always have been. I'm a fan of Man of Steel. I think Batman v Superman, the extended cut is the way to watch it. That's a much better movie, and it would probably.
so you
prepare
mean the
better for
director's
that.
actual version?
Yeah, I like Zack Snyder. I
minus the
like pretty much
studio.
everything he's done.
Yeah.
I like pretty
Okay.
much everything. So I'm a fan of Zack Snyder. So I'm looking forward to it.
I really liked Dawn of the Dead. Everything past that has just been kind of like a good popcorn movie, but nothing I would really call like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. Got to have it in my library.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward more to Army of the Dead coming up lately soon, but I'm not. I don't really consider myself a huge fan of these superhero DC movies, but I do
Get the
enjoy
fuck
them,
outta
and,
here.
and I'm looking forward to what he does with it. I really am. I hope it's good. So
It's really hard to take you seriously when your last name is Vader, which is
I know.
much a type.
That's true.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm saying it's a little bit of that Disney hypocrisy now, right now.
Wait. If we really want to know how Vader is on his nerddom, it's like, let's ask him the typical Star Wars question. Who is your favorite character and why is it Rey?
Oh, that would be C-3PO.
Did you guys read the article today with about Cumberbatch saying no to Thrawn? He's never watched The Mandalorian. It was
And you know what?
Career move for him.
For someone like him, I would not be surprised because there are other things to do. And being a working actor, he's done so much since he's gotten cast as Doctor Strange. I mean, after the first Doctor Strange movie, I think he ended up doing some stage work for a while. And so,
and I heard that he loves the MCU so much that he was involved with the porn parodies too.
Yeah. He was the one that kept oiling up the bodies before each shot. That's what he was doing.
Yep.
It's for the children. That's where.
No.
Poor Keith.
Every time he rubs a nipple, every time he shines over a nipple, he yells "God."
Actually, I would equate Benedict Cumberbatch with like kind of a modern day Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Or with Indian curry, red curry, not yellow.
Green curry?
No, red curry.
Well, green curry's when he's sick.
You peasants. You peasants. It's Penang curry. That's the best.
This
there needs to be a zoom in feature for Keith's forehead.
This is 24 hours, Keith Moncrief. Welcome to the show.
What you need to do is have a slow zoom in to see the vein on the forehead slowly getting bigger and bigger with the Jaws theme in the background. He's good.
Hey, Keith. Hey, Keith.
Let's see with him face palming. That would have been
Keith.
the screen capture.
Are you happy I love you so much?
Just remember, you can always look at my avatar and feel better, Keith.
No.
Mine's better.
Wait, which one is the real Gary? Have to call
I tried to keep everything going while you were gone, Gary. So
thanks, buddy.
We have to play the $6 Million Man theme.
We've been having internet
it out
problems.
Bionic style.
Getting very frustrated with it, but we'll make do with it. Let me put this background on.
I like that.
This is actually our theme for this show.
It's time for a little Funky Friday. From their funky hidden headquarters, your hosts, Keith and Gary.
And Fat Steven.
Dude, I love that.
Thanks, man.
You're so funky.
I really do, man. That's really cool.
I pulled it together, and then I just turned to Tom, and I'm like, dude, man, I need you to do your thing that you do. Because he's got the perfect voice. Because I was going to do it. I'm like, fuck no. This needs to be Tom. Tom does that voice.
Tom is great.
Yeah, he is. All right, stop it. It creeps me out when you start talking about it.
Tom is great. I think he's so magical and delicious.
If Tom was here right now, you don't even know what I would do to him.
That pasty white skin,
we've got
that wonderful, delectable bald head.
In the crowd.
Perfect.
I want to make her. Where you are, there you are. She is a moderator. I want her to always be a moderator on our channel, and I'm hoping that does it. There we go.
She has a wrench. She already is.
Yeah. Does she? Okay. All right. And then, of course, John DeMarco. Thank you for showing up, John. Life with Matthew. How is Life with Matthew? One might even say, here, let's add this to the screen. One might even say that Andrea Seabrook has a way with words. Shut up, Life with Matthew. Mandrew.
She is the weird word whisperer.
Ooh.
Let's see. It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. That's true. But you're now in a timeout for saying that.
That's why I sleep outside buffets. Because it's definitely about the quantity and not the quality.
Afghanistan. So this is what it's like to be in the chat during virtual pubs at John DeMarco. Solketh, his eyes uncovered.
Oh, that's come on now. That's one of my favorite episodes. For
Stomach enchilada.
Oh, it's a great episode.
When
Yeah,
the
it is.
walls fell.
Hey all.
When the walls fell.
Hello, Zax.
Timber, his
And
arms
then
open.
John DeMarco says, "Why is life with Matthew?" I don't know what that even means. Oh my God! To all of you out there watching, fuck you. Glad you're here.
Wow.
Tanakara, the beast of Tanakara.
With his arms open. Fuck you.
No. I'm doing Picard's part. You Philistine.
Thank you, Natasha, for being here. So
we appreciate Natasha. She is one of the best mods I think I've ever seen. I'm serious.
She has to be able to handle us.
I think Andrea just left.
Well, I surprised her when I told her that I was friends with Rutger Hauer, and that I on our channel there's a farewell video I did for him. Well, he's dead. Jesus Christ.
Paul Winfield?
No, Rutger. Shut up.
Oh, Rutger.
Who, Paul Winfield?
When did we?
I don't recall talking about Paul Winfield, but okay.
Sorry, it just made a disconnect in my brain.
You're definitely an ADD person like me. Okay,
I'm not.
So
I think we should rename. Rename the stream to "Chubby Guys with Beards."
Well, we already have 4 fucks in the movie.
4 or 5 fucks in a movie.
But let's get this back. Keith, what was the last thing we were talking about? Because I know that we were trying to get into dealing with celebrities on social media, because it's something that Keith and I do. We talk to a lot of celebs. We usually talk to them privately. Because posting on their page on Facebook is kind of weird.
It is. And many times you don't know if it's actually them or someone that works for them.
Works for them, exactly.
Or a fan club, really.
But with Twitter, it's a little different, because really trying to talk to someone privately is next to impossible. You end up interacting with them through their public posts. And so I'm a little surprised that Shatner reacted the way that he did to her, that I'm like, come on, nobody's ever asked you for an interview on Twitter through public chat. I just find that impossible to believe.
It may have just been the circumstances of what was going on in conversations along the same time that Andrea was there. And I think he, may have just went, you know what, to heck with everyone, and just decided to block everybody.
Well, once again, he's 90 years old, and he's looking at the time he has in front of him. And so all of us,
doesn't want to waste it
no
on
matter
us.
how big a fan we are, we're just, I don't know, we're just sort of like stuff that's around him, and he just doesn't pay attention.
I don't know, man. I get nervous every time I see his name trending out there. It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. It's like, oh my God, he died. Because I've been preparing for that for years, and he just keeps going.
He was 36 years old when Star Trek debuted.
Yeah,
and he was already balding.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I didn't know that until years later.
Yeah, he has been pretty much the prototypical leading man for a lot of us that watched a lot of television in the early 70s, and at that time it seemed to really just cross over with the fact that he needed to work a lot, because he had a wife and kid, he had an ex-wife and kids to support, and so he just started working a lot, and he did like the pilot episode to Columbo, and
he did a lot of pilots.
Yeah, he did.
After Star Trek, he was in a lot of pilots.
Oh my goodness, he did the. He had one that I found on YouTube.
Hey, Andrea.
Hi, everybody. Sorry.
Hello.
Hello, nurse.
We're talking about Shatner and his early career.
I loved him in Boston Legal. I think the time that I interviewed him,
oh my God, he was great in that.
It was for Boston Legal, and that's the thing. I don't know if you want me to tell you what happened yet, or where we are in the conversation.
Does it involve
I will
lubricant?
bring that up, but right now we're kind of prefacing Shatner, why he is the way he is, why people shouldn't be surprised when he does things like this.
I honestly loved him in the Priceline commercials. You can't get anything better.
Oh yeah.
That and the S My Father Says. Remember that series?
Yeah, but that all still is
Shit My
kind of
Father
recent.
Says was great. I actually read those blogs and just died laughing because I'm like, yeah, it's my dad. But I do have to point out that what you brought up, Keith, that period of time after his divorce was tough on him, and he lived in a pickup truck camper shell.
Yeah.
And he had a little hot plate, and
he was the only member of the cast of Star Trek that did not immediately benefit from the checks and stuff that you got for syndication.
Really?
Because he sent all that money to his wife to take care, his ex-wife, to take care of his daughters. So while everybody was thinking, I mean, look, Leonard Nimoy, George Takei, everyone else did really well for themselves with those checks initially, okay? Shatner didn't. Shatner was out there trying to find work, trying to find a movie. He did whatever was necessary to be able to bring in income so he could at least make sure that his ex-wife and his daughters were taken care of.
Hey, I loved Kingdom of the Spiders, okay?
Well, yeah, that and The Devil's Reign and Big
I have
Bad
all those
Mama.
movies. I own all those movies.
I feel like he's a guy who just likes to work. He's busy even now.
I like
at
Loaded
90,
Gun.
man.
What was it called?
saw
Loaded
him on-
Weapon. National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon.
I know this story. Deanna, she's next to me over here working, and she's also eavesdropping on our show. And she did. When she was a kid up in Mexico, Missouri, there's a lot of horse trading going on there, and there is this big ranch, and she was walking by it to go home, and there's this man. Was he riding or walking? Riding. He was riding, and she interacted with him and talked to him for a few minutes. She's a kid. She wanders home, only to find out then that the person she was sitting there talking horses with was William Shatner. And when she relayed this story to me, I was like, "Oh my God!" And then she goes, "But I didn't know it was William Shatner." And I'm like, "Oh, you destroyed everything! How could you know?" Oh, we just lost Greg. So it looks like it's not just me with shitty internet today.
I'm trying to figure out how Gary's throwing his voice like that to a female voice so easily. That's really professionally done there.
It's yeah. But yeah, that was my wife's interaction with William Shatner. She did not get blocked. So there, Andrea.
Okay. You bringing up? Sorry, I had a question. You're bringing up the block thing in that they had other sources that probably came in and made it end up being blocked. What do you mean by the other sources?
Well,
though?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
So I want to go back when he was living in that camper. One of my favorite stories of him was when this kid saw him and recognized him out in the middle of the woods, and he's sitting on the back of his pickup truck camper. And the kid's like, "Are you Captain Kirk?" And he says, "Shh, little boy. I'm on an away mission." And of course, made that kid's day by admitting that he's Captain Kirk and told him he was on an away mission. I'm like, that's a fucking story right there.
That's cool.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to understand how big that show became in the aftermath of being canceled. You know, from it was literally 1970 to about 1975. I think I was the number one. Oh, not number one, but it was certainly in the top 5 most watched syndicated shows.
Yep.
I mean, the show just blew up, and it was just amazing. And when you think about the amount of time between when they ended that show and when they began filming for Star Trek: The Motion Picture, it really wasn't that long.
No,
it really was not that long.
Nope.
Even though it seemed like it when we were living through it.
Just 10 years. Just 10 years. And I want to address Life with Matthew. I love the show Shatner is in, he says, and no offense to the man, but his ego has always outpaced his talent. Bless his heart. You're talking about 90% of Hollywood. So
yeah,
I mean, you're not wrong, but it's sort of a so what. It's like majority of celebrities are like that. They have too many yes people around them, and they think their opinions actually mean something. They really don't. Not in, when you look in history, how many celebrities? There's only one celebrity, major celebrity, who ever had a great impact on society, and it wasn't a good one. Was John Wilkes Booth, who was
I don't know. You could make the
he
argument.
was one of
Ronald
the biggest
Reagan.
actors of his day. What's
Ronald Reagan?
Fuck, I always forget he was an actor because he was not. He really wasn't very good. Well, Nancy, I will, But
if he had
he had a big impact on me.
If he had just decided to say yes to Casablanca, his career would have been slightly different.
No, I don't think so. I don't think Casablanca would have been a good film. I really don't.
Yeah, he was asked to do it, and he turned it down.
Yeah, he was.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking to two movie nerds. We are cinephiles. So we know just goofy amounts of shit about movies and actors. And
that's why we love you.
The fact is I don't think Casablanca would have been as good a film or received as well. Bogart had a thing about him.
Yes, he did.
That really the mixture of him as Rick was what made that movie. All the rest of the cast were great. They were great. But without Bogart, that film wouldn't have been what it is.
Oh, my God. The balls to call it boring as hell. I'm just like, dude, really?
Oh, your cousin. God, he's a fucking idiot.
I just got to say, though.
I'm sure he is really a nice guy. I really do. But, yeah, he's an idiot.
He has his moments.
For all of the stuff about Shatner, you also have to understand that a lot of the hate for Shatner grew in the early 70s because he was the only one of the cast that didn't immediately do conventions. And so it was immediately assumed that he was too good to do it, when in actuality, as I stated before, he was divorced with 3 daughters. And he needed the money, so he needed to take work where he could get it.
You wanted to share that. Okay.
I just wanted to share that, you mentioned Mexico, Missouri, and I was driving through Missouri a couple nights ago and found this road sign, and it was very confusing.
Wait till you drive by Lebanon and Cuba.
Right.
Because my daughter Zoe was born in Lebanon. And,
going to Paris.
Yeah. Paris or Mexico? I don't know.
Like driving through Texas.
Yeah.
But did you know you could drive to Uranus?
Finding food.
Actually, I'm looking forward to seeing your moment, John. Let's see. What else do we got in the chat? Natasha, I see how it is. Mr. Tickle Trunk's a good friend of ours.
I love his name. It makes me giggle every single time.
It would make you giggle, you perv.
Okay.
There you are, Kate. Why aren't you in the show? I thought I sent her an invite. Natasha, you're just like Tom, following me everywhere. It's true. Tom is a stalker. If you're not being stalked by Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge, you're just worthless. You really are.
AssaultAmericanVideo.com. Interesting.
And who's following who? Culture Casino. What is up, my friend?
Culture Casino.
Oh, he has a great show. Have you guys been watching his 6-minute?
Eventually he'll have Keith and I on there.
It's fabulous.
When he decides to be cool.
It takes about a month to be as cool, right? So you guys give Culture some time. If you send him some hair products, he will definitely get next
Hey, Kim, what do you guys
got a really good clip of Culture Casino when he was on my stream.
Oh, you guys want a clip of Culture losing his crap and swearing on an online show?
Yeah, I got a really good one where he's talking about
Life with Matthew. I wasn't saying you hated him, dude. No, I get what you're saying. Saying. What I'm saying is that's 90% of Hollywood. The script doctor here?
Yeah, he's in his
Now,
chat.
I know I sent him an invite. You're in the group chat.
Dude, get in here.
Script doctor, Jesus Christ. I know you write, so you have to read.
Life with Matthew. Good job. Sick.
So
following you. Yeah, there we go.
Hey,
that was a sick comment.
While we're talking about interactions with celebrities, I want to relate a very short and very poignant story about one I had. Shut up, Steven.
Culture Casino, gotcha.
So it was like 1991. I'm 19 years old. I'm at Origins, and I'm a big RPG nerd at the time, so I play a lot of role-playing games and stuff. And one of my favorite ones at the time is Mechton and Cyberpunk. And sure enough, there I am at Origins, and this tall black gentleman is like standing nearby the line that I'm in, and sure enough, it is Mike fucking Pondsmith, the guy who created Cyberpunk. And 19-year-old me,
what?
I'm just shaking in my boots. I can't speak. I want to say something to him so bad, but I'm so intimidated by the guy that I'm just like, I'm speechless. He walks right by me, and I missed my moment in history, and I will forever regret it. And I've been trying to get a hold of the guy forever, trying to say, hey, dude, you're like my favorite. I really love you. And, Cyberpunk 2077 was good and all this other stuff. He never replies to me. So either I'm coming off like a complete stalker, or I don't know, maybe he just doesn't have time for me. I don't know. But Mike Pondsmith, if you're out there and you're listening, I love you, man. Please, 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 just, acknowledge me sometime. Thanks.
I've run into Robin Williams twice. And it was a good experience twice. First time was at EB Games, where he was cleaning it out to get games for his family.
Cool.
And then a week later, I met him at the tattoo parlor when I was getting my back done. So I've met him twice. And then he started making fun of a girl who was crying during tramp stamp. It was the best thing ever.
I've ran into Edward James Olmos.
Oh.
Yeah, I was at this convention, and I was standing in line because I was getting this picture, and he just walked right in front of me, and he's like, "Excuse me, son," and he looked at the guy in front of me. He's like, "Do you know where the bathroom is?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, that's over there." And then he walked away, and the guy looked at me and goes, "That was awesome." I met him, and I met Sam Witwer and Michael Rosenbaum.
I'm really glad you didn't.
Witwer's a neat dude.
Are we sharing?
I'm glad the rest of that story did not continue.
Are you ready?
Here we go. Yeah, go for it, Steve.
Cecil? No fucking way. Anyway, one of my best friends in the whole world, and probably one of the most genuine human beings, and funniest that I know is Wes Moody. So thank you all for finding your way over here if you're not already subscribed. If you are subscribed, you got a unique opportunity to enjoy a whole lot of people just having a really good time. So thank you for being here. You guys make everything happen. If you're not subscribed to the wonderful people on this. Shut the fuck up, dickhead.
I love that.
I hope none of you die tonight. That's all.
Somebody please clip that. Please clip it. I want that as my opening. I want that.
I want to copy that. And anytime I want to tell somebody to shut the fuck up, I want to play that.
Put in one of my videos.
And it never gets old.
I love everybody. That's the problem. I love all of you.
But I fucking love.
That's fucking great.
The poor guy.
I am going to clip that and use that. Put that in our thing.
But it goes on for 2 minutes. Everyone crack up laughing. But eventually goes, "Welcome to the gaming lounge."
Hold on. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Natasha, can you plug Matt Vader's saltynerdvideo.com?
Yeah, you don't want to go to my YouTube channel. It's just full of
yeah, you only got one video over there. It's like going, "Hey, how you doing?"
He's doing better than me.
I got like 100 views. Me reading the label off of a Arrowhead water bottle one time. That was really good.
He's not kidding either.
No, I'm not kidding. And I have another video of my cat chewing on a Rose Tico discount action figure.
Oh, I'd pay to see that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Cat. Yeah, I was making some points to some friends of mine who spend weeks at a time editing videos, and I said I can get 50 videos in about 30 fucking seconds, and I did, and it was funny. It was just one of those things. I'm gonna read a bottled water label and get more video views than you.
Read,
That was
read
actually-
something
it was-
edgy next time, like
it
the
was-
can on a monster or something.
It was to Yeti, because Yeti was crying about not getting any views, and I said something about I could outview him with a water bottle, I think. So yeah.
Well, can I get that clip, please?
Oh, you want to watch some more of that clip?
What clip?
What the fuck are you talking about? Eat shit. Shut the fuck up.
That picnic table covering is very angry today.
Hey, boo boo. Let's get the picnic basket.
Somebody else spilled some mustard on my shirt, and everyone keeps calling me picnic.
Let's get some more of the chat going here. Let's see. Get past the LOLs and the Oz and LMFAOs. Andrea says, Culture Casino, I'm loving the 6-minute shows. And Natasha says she's on it, Matt. So,
Jedi 6 watched the cat video. Very good.
Cat and Rose Tico, another winner of Matt Vader. Yes. And Jedi 6 says, I just watched the cat video. Too cute. And just like that, this has become a very gay video. But you know what? I'm gay for this show. And
I knew it.
And I'm open about it. I am a power bottom. And
you can never
For
tell.
the show.
For this show. Jesus Christ, do not start
Why are you
writing
on the
me.
top up there?
This stream was brought to you by Power Bottoms. We hold everything up.
And again, to
Hey,
everyone,
welcome to the show. Nobody has said hello to you yet.
hi, Kate.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, Kate.
This
What's
segment
up?
brought to you by KY Jelly, the
Did she
lubricant
answer?
that's
Was
so
that
smooth.
just a squeak? I
Thank
just heard a
God
squeak.
there's another female on this panel.
I tried to
pretty-
get more treacherous estrogenical ways on this show, but all I got was Andrea and Kate now. For some reason, I don't know where Force is. I sent them an invite and I go, hey, where are you? But I'm hoping that they'll maybe make it next time.
Well, Fat Steven was
'cause I
wearing
know
a
everybody's-
lingerie earlier.
Everybody's schedule is always not going to be perfect, but I kind of want to get a dais where we've got a group of people that's mixed, one black guy, and
One Mexican.
Oh!
nobody knows you're Mexican.
Oh, you just killed it. Oh, okay. Well, we still have ginger representation.
Wait, who's Mexican?
Channel. If you haven't figured it out yet,
T-shirt it
I
is,
am Hispanic.
Hispanic.
Thank you.
He's-
And Latino.
I got to tell you, dude, he is
simultaneously.
Hispanics.
He
He's
is worse than a
Hispanics.
vegan or an atheist. He has to talk about what he is all the time.
It's like Hispanics is the new Scientology.
Yeah, it's like, have you heard Hispanics are awesome? You should become one.
Hispanics are the
Have you
Become
heard
one.
that if you use
You know
Hispanic
awesome
shampoo, aliens get in your hair?
Yes. Hey,
I-
hey, you love our food, so don't say shit about our culture.
That's not
I haven't, I haven't figured out what I'm identifying yet as today, so I'll let you know later.
Let us know your pronouns, okay?
I identify as a trans moose.
Just
They want to
the
grind
community
some
said,
rocks.
Dollar
All right.
General, we really love you guys. Seriously, we do.
We do.
Sponsor our show.
If you
Yes.
donate today, you will get a free chisel, care of Geode, the Black
Jedi
Series.
6, if I were a man, I would be gay. And
Well, that
Mr.
explains
Tickle
the
Trunk
horse.
says, also, hello, brothers and sisters. Have you heard there's no news?
What?
I don't know. I think he's being facetious because a lot of shit happened. We've got the other thing going on, which is there is a video going out that's attacking. It's attacking. Attacking a lot of
Words
our
are
friends.
hard.
Some of them are our friends. Some of them we don't really know, but we do
Is
follow.
that the clip? that
The
I'm hearing
Force. What? What?
about? Go on.
Shut
This
up,
is the-
Steven.
This is the
Shut
thing
the
where we all
fuck
work
up.
for Steve Bannon.
I want
so-
that clip so bad whenever Steven says something. Just tell me shut the fuck up.
Shit.
No, the fandom menace. There's this new video going around attacking members of the fandom menace and how that I guess they were calling not just for but that Kathleen Kennedy would be fired. it's still yet to be seen. That was diplomatic speak that you heard during that ridiculous fucking investor meeting. It's like guy gets asked a direct question, he responds with a paper answer. It's like, what?
We have a lot of values here in the.
But Bob, what's his name? Checkpacker,
or Mr. Potato Head.
Checknick, Chex Mix. No, he's not fast on his feet like Bob Iger is. And Steve, your friend La Lorena, she pointed that out, that he's not very quick on his feet with responding. That's why he asked that, are you planning to fire Kathleen Kennedy? And why did you fire Gina Carano? And then he grabs a piece of paper. We believe in universal. What the fuck is universal values? What is that?
But like the caller,
each culture has its own set of values.
But the caller himself was literally to the point. How are you saying you are standing for values? Pretty much when your hypocrisy of how you've treated your employees, as well as your actors and actresses, definitely goes against that.
Is that
narrative.
a universal value?
No, it's not.
No,
it's universal racism. That's kind of different.
Imagine, because like if someone we know, like Andrea, were to be fired from like some major news company. I'm not going to say who it is, but
Collider?
Because of her personal views, guess who would be the first group of people to jump to her defense? It would not be us, but it would be somebody. No, it'd be us. We love you.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. It would not be us.
It would not be us. No.
But I have a question though with that. If we're the first ones to stand up for her, are we mansplaining? Or are we actually just defending with her?
One, I don't even know what that means. Mansplaining. I don't.
You got to be a man.
It's not a real thing.
What I do is ansplain all the time.
You ansplain.
I totally ansplain.
I would get paid for that, right?
Well, you signed my face.
Oh no, I ansplain in the word. Like my friends are like, "Oh God, here it goes."
Okay, and here I want to put you on the spot. Ambush journalism.
Do it.
So what the fuck did you say to Kevin Costner that made
okay
to his face?
Kevin Costner, I was interviewing him about some dumb movie that he was on like a junket for, and so when the celebrities get on these junkets, they're handed a list of interviews. They could have like 25 in a day, right? And I was one of these. Luckily it wasn't on the phone. I had him in the studio, and we're sitting down, and I kind of I know that these things suck for them, and I know that the interviews that come out of them often suck. You hear the same 5, talking points on 8 different shows. So I was talking to him about that, hey man, and he's wearing his sunglasses in the studio, which is just I was is he hungover? I don't know.
I bet he's hungover.
But yeah, and so I was so what's the worst? This must suck for you. He's yeah, it's awful. And I was what's the worst question that you get over and over again? And he said, oh God, it's horrible. Everybody asks me about my divorce and my ex-wife, and I totally hate it. And it's tabloid shit. And he's at NPR, so he feels like he can say that and whatever. So they get his microphone all mixed, fixed up and everything. And the engineer goes back to the control room, and I started the interview, this is All Things Considered from NPR News. I'm Andrea Seabrook. And my guest today is Kevin Costner. And Mr. Costner, my first question is, tell me about your ex-wife. How'd your divorce go?
What did he do?
I like you.
He looked at me for 5 full seconds, and then he doubled over laughing his ass off. He thought it was so funny. I mean, he just thought it was hysterical. And I knew that we were doing this live to tape and that we would just throw that out and start over again. I didn't actually do it live on the air. So from then on, the interview was fantastic. He was lively, and we just had this great rapport. And that's the kind of sometimes you get you can challenge them a little bit or have a little fun, and they're much more human in those situations.
Well, I find personally, because I've been doing interviews since '95, and my first interview was with Bruce Campbell, and Keith will tell you I prank celebrities. I really don't care.
Yeah, he does.
I just don't give a fuck. And I had an actor ask me one time. He says, "Man, you got me talking about the Vietnam War and my experiences there. Nobody's ever done that. How do you do that? I said, well, I use the same skills in journalism that I used as a paramedic, and we were taught how to deal with people with mental disorders and how to communicate with them. And I use that same skill with actors. And Jeremy Roberts is the actor. He's the guy most famous for being the first person to say, "What's in your wallet?" And Jeremy's an old buddy of mine, and he and I became bros that moment I did that too, because he's like, "Dude, you're a dick." I said, "But it's true. I use that skill." It's called, you try to associate yourself with the person you're talking to. So you share to get them to open up to you and to recognize you as an equal.
Yes.
And,
well, these people walk around with like whole huge staffs of people blowing smoke up their asses, and but they are and have been sometime in their life like normal people like us, and like when you reach out and connect with them in that way, they're often just lovely. I mean, the thing about asking Shatner for an interview on Twitter, like I get a lot of really good interviews on Twitter because I'm going around their publicists. The publicists are the ones who protect them from their audience, from their fans. And I mean, there's a good reason for that, but I've had a lot of success, just especially if I want to do something a little weird, and what I was asking Shatner to do was come on a live stream when I was in Riverside, Iowa, the future birthplace of Captain Kirk, and just like talk a little bit about it. Right. And he just, I mean, his response was, a real journalist wouldn't ask for an interview over Twitter, right? And I was like, okay, fine, like ignore me.
Well, I thought that was kind of a weird response because I'm like, that happens all the time.
Right, it happens all the time. It was so weird. And then, of course, the problem was like I have all these friends from all over the place, some of whom have like hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter, who all jumped to my defense, saying, "Are you kidding? Andrew Seabrook is a real journalist." So it looked like we were all ganging up on him.
It's exactly what it looked like, and they need to not do that. But that's social media.
I was just social media. It's Twitter, right? It's right. It's a gang thing. I don't know.
And it's what happens. But I got to tell you, I've I know a lot of celebrities, and I have a tendency of fucking with them. I met Phil Morris from Smallville, Doom Patrol, Gregory Morrison's son from Mission Impossible, and met him at a convention. Keith knows this story, what I did. Two old friends of mine who love my artwork, and I offered them free artwork, signed art prints, if they would go down to his table and start telling him how they love his movies and TV shows, but then identify the wrong actor like Denzel Washington. And I said, just do it. I said, and all this artwork, I put a stack, had it all signed and ready for him. You do that. And I recorded the whole thing. The problem was it was so loud there at the Smallville convention, none of the audio got picked up. So it was wasted video. But it was great because the look on his face every time they would say a movie that wasn't his or a TV show was like, that was, and he was really getting perplexed.
You are evil.
At a point, like, eventually you're gonna have to hit one I was in. And finally they started laughing and they pointed down at me, and he looked at me, and there's me all the way down there about 100 yards away, and he looks at me and I go, and we became friends because I did that to him. And he's been on our show. Great guy, just a lovable guy. Very down to earth, lives in Hawaii, lucky bastard. Sandy Cholera, I called him a dick on our show. You don't know who Sandy Cholera is. He did Batman Dead End. He worked on a lot of movies, special effects makeup and shit like that. He's good friends with the Chiodo brothers, Critters, and all that shit.
He's the kind of guy that you would probably interview because of.
Oh my God, he's so fucking cool.
He is. He's one of the coolest guys out there.
This guy.
I want to be him when I grow up.
Yeah.
Keith, do you have a funny celebrity story too?
Do I have a funny celebrity story? It's an embarrassing funny story.
Mine was embarrassing. So.
Oh, this might get sexy.
Actually, it almost got like that. I think Shamia thought I was just creeping on her, but I just happened to be passing by. I was at a convention in St. Louis many moons ago. And I was walking back to my room, and something happened down the hallway. It was like a loud bang or something. One of those noises that was just like, ugh. So I turned. I don't see anything. It's like, okay, whatever. And then a moment later, this door opens that I happen to be walking right by. And our guest was the actress that played the Dabo girl on DS9.
Gates McFadden.
No,
not Gates.
No.
Gates McFadden was a doctor.
Yeah, I know.
That was Beverly Crusher, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Beverly Crusher was TNG, right?
Yeah,
TNG.
She married Rom.
Yes.
Yeah, that was Chase Masterson. That's it. Chase Masterson.
Oh.
Who happened to be, I think, dressed in nothing but her robe that she had on. And I think she may have had a bikini underneath. I don't know. But she kind of looked out there. And the first person she sees is me, who I was just walking right by. And it was one of those embarrassing situations where it's like, what made me step home? And she kind of looked me up and down. She looked down the hall. She looked back at me, and then she closed her door. I just thought, darn it. Only me. But that's my story. I mean, I get caught in weird situations.
Well, you were at the
all
same
time.
convention with me when I was a guest at that Star Trek con. I did the whole poster for it. And the two actors, one of which we've lost in the last few years, were in full costume as Klingons. And I knew who they were, but they came walking by, and I've got a real fucking problem with the guys that dress in Klingon walking around Star Trek cons speaking Klingon. Just fucking annoys me to no end. And when they came over by the table, I said, "You guys can stick around, but no fucking Klingon. English, motherfucker.
English, motherfucker. You speak it?"
They laughed. They thought that was funny. Oh, somebody just joined us. Who is it? Oh, it's Fanzine again.
My StreamYard page keeps crashing or something. It keeps crashing on me.
Well,
it says the page is unresponsive.
Dude, or feed it.
Change the hamster.
I really don't know what it matters. It's the internet's working fine. I got a good signal and everything, but it says keeps saying the
is that
page
some
keeps
sort
crashing.
of gerbil joke?
A gerbil joke?
What gerbil joke?
Have you gone full Richard Gere?
Yes, I have. Oh, it's so nice.
I don't know how he got the wheel up there. That's weird.
I can hear the squeaking.
Why do I keep pooping newspaper? Why is it shredded?
Let's see. Angela's driving. First of all, welcome to the channel, Angela.
over here. Oh, fuck.
Was even in the elevator unexpected with Richard Horvitz, the voice of Zim, and the voice of Gurr, as I was heading back to my room. Also got an autograph by Richard H. I don't know who Richard H. is.
Hatch.
Oh, Richard Hatch. Oh, hell yeah. God, man. Yeah.
Nice dude. I did 3 conventions with Richard Hatch, and he was always just incredible to be with. So I miss him. I do.
I've met River Song. I've met John Barrowman. I have met the voice actor who did the original Baroness from the G.I. Joe cartoon and have her action figure signed by her. She's a lovely lady. She was. I hope she's still alive, but she was a lovely lady. Chris Jericho. I met a bunch of people. Like, they were from Chris Jericho to the Band of Aqua, Deftones. I've met them all.
God, I haven't met anybody cool. I mean, I knew gentleman Chris Adams, but he was a wrestler.
Because you're Hispanic, so you keep telling them you're Hispanic, so they run away.
Yeah.
Either that, or they hand me their dishes and say, "Thank you, I'm done with this."
Can you sign my tortilla? Can you sign my tortilla?
Well, I think one of my favorite celebrity run-ins was when I was the last time I was guest of honor at VisionCon, and which is where I met Keith. And my daughter, she was raised around celebrities, and there was a small club because they all met her when she was a baby and became fans of my daughter for some weird reason because she's adorable. I admit it. She got to know Bill Sanderson he played JF in Blade Runner. Meridell and her sister Yvonne Craig, Batgirl. Jeremy Bullock when he was still alive, God rest his soul. And I forget his name offhand. The gentleman who played Boomer in the original Battlestar Galactica. We're all on my
Herb Jefferson Jr.
Herb Jefferson Jr. We're all on the mailing list to get updates on Zoe.
Keith just knew that right off.
And they just wanted photos. And then
I know a lot of the black actors and stuff.
Yes, that's all he knows. He doesn't know white people.
All three of them.
Ernie
All
Hudson
three
is
of
in the
those
elevator.
black actors.
What's that?
I said all three of them, the black
All
actors.
three of them.
Yeah.
He knows them all. So we're in the elevator, and there's Ernie Hudson across from us, and my daughter grabs me. She does not get weirded out by celebs, but she has a thing for Ernie Hudson because of Ghostbusters.
Oh, everybody does.
And she's 12 years old, and she's clinging to my arm, or she was 13. She's clinging to my arm, gripping it with her fingernails. And so I whispered to her, say something. She's like, no. And I said, all right, fuck it, then I'm going to say something. I said, hey, Ernie, no disparagement to your woman there, but I'm just going to let you know this young lady intends on marrying you when she's old enough.
It would have been funnier, though, if the little one was able to say, I've seen shit that will turn you white.
Yep.
just imagine Ernie's
like
face.
that, though.
But just imagine Ernie's face going, what the
fuck did she say?
If there's a black actor I wanted to meet, he's unfortunately passed away, is Richard Biggs, because he seemed like he was such a cool dude.
He was. I did what? I met him twice, I think, maybe even 3 times. I found him to be incredibly cool. As cool as he seemed on Babylon 5, he was just as cool in person.
Wow.
And to see the way that he and Jason Carter interacted, those two were tight. I mean, just tight guys, tight friends, and just great guys. I mean, both of them loved to meet fans, and they were just an incredible duo, So, man, I really do miss him because he was just a nice dude. I mean, I've met a lot of celebrities, and sometimes they're everything you think they could be, and a lot more times not so much.
There was one time years ago when I was working at a casino up in Oregon. I was a pit boss up there at an Indian casino, and Lance Henriksen was at one of my tables playing blackjack.
Oh.
And I was
he cool?
Well, let me finish my story. I'll tell you. So I was kind of starstruck, and I fumbled with my words like I do now, and and I had no idea what to do or say, and I just kind of went up to him and watched him for a couple minutes, and I ended up spitting something out of my face about how I thought it was really cool in Aliens when they did the knife thing with Bishop, and did they really do that? And I was a total fool, and he looked at me like I was the biggest idiot in the world. And I turned around and I walked away, swearing to God I was never going to talk to another celebrity that came to one of my blackjack tables ever again. And that's my story. That's it. It was just.
You were Chris Farley.
It was awful. It was like,
you were Chris Farley on SNL.
At least you had the balls to say
you
something.
Remember
to
that
him,
time when you did that thing?
Yeah, that's exactly what
remember
it was.
that?
It was. It was so bad.
Hey, at least you said something to him, okay? You weren't like me, and you weren't just like totally just frozen with just sheer fanboy terror and unable to speak.
I like dogs.
You did that thing with the that was really cool. Did you do that for real?
I had an unexpected fanboy moment when I met Johnny Duncan. Now, that's not a name that a lot of people know, but it turns out that Johnny Duncan was when he was much younger, because I met him as a much older man. But it turns out when he was younger, he was part of the Dead End Kids.
Yeah.
And he also was Robin in the second Batman and Robin movie ever made. Ever. But I also found out that one of the final roles that he took before he retired from acting was being in the movie Spartacus. So me being the film guy that I was working with him that week, and I got my turn to work with him, and I remember telling myself that I would not try to focus all these questions on him about working on the movie Spartacus. But I had to. I did end up asking one question. It's like, look, seriously. How did they do that whole thing with everybody being crucified? Were you a part of that or what? Because I was rather young when I first saw Spartacus on television. So it was one of those things. It's like, you know it isn't real, but it's one of those things where you have to ask. And that was a question. I took my shot. I mean, I could have asked about Batman and Robin. I didn't. I could have asked about the Dead End Kids. I didn't. I asked about Spartacus, and I asked about the most, the goofiest part of that entire movie as far as asking questions. And that was embarrassing. But he said, "No, son, no."
Do you know who,
they didn't actually crucify a lot of people. I gotta go, guys.
Permanently, or are you coming back?
Yeah, no, I gotta run. I actually have to drive out of Missouri today. They're running after me. They're chasing me out of town.
You're getting out of the state of misery.
Yeah, right. But I'm super. I love your guys' show. I love you guys, and happy.
Well, you are now part of this show. You're part of our Friday lineup.
Woo!
You're welcome back anytime.
Gather
Anytime
shit that you want to talk about during the week.
Fabulous. I have all kinds of useless crap I can talk about.
All right, Andrea, take care. Thanks for joining the team.
Yeah, good.
So good to see you guys.
Nice to see you.
Jumping in and out.
It's an honor. And listen, hey, if you're mexicano, pues güey, tenemos que hablar, ¿no?
Sí.
Eso. Okay. See you guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Cool.
I'm actually a Hispanic. You know that, right?
Do we have a Hispanic corner to time them out?
Wait a minute. They're on the southern part of the equator, right? So does the water rotate the other way?
No.
Is he currently streaming from that raft piled together of other jars and jugs just so he can get to the border?
Oh, that is almost not funny. You do realize that I have a Cuban heritage, right?
Do you also have a ball that you call Wilson when you're trying to get to the shore?
No, but my dad did actually immigrate from Cuba to this country, so yeah, that's some serious. And they do actually have a little museum over there in I guess it's like the Keys, because it's only
Cubanos.
it's only a few miles from the coast of Cuba to the coast of Florida, and a lot of guys try to make it and they don't, and they find the corpses, of course, and then of course they find the stuff they tried to sail over here on. And they display that in the museum, and it's kind of like sobering.
So you made a joke, and then I made a joke, and then you took the joke and made it seriously not a joke anymore.
I know.
Did you realize you're still Hispanic, though?
I am.
On that? Yeah.
It won't wash off. I've tried.
You need 5 more stimulus checks, and you'll be good.
Mr. Pickle Trunk says, I actually have a celeb in my family. I won't disclose, LOL, outside of people related or loosely related to me. Rick Hillier of Canadian novel comics book TV show Commander Rick. But that's it.
Oh, come on. That's not fair. You got to be more. Come on. It's not like we're going to go hunt you down and find out who you are and who your celebrity person is. God, such a tease, Mr. Tickle Trunk.
I'm friends with, just so many, actors and stuff like that it's like I'm very protective of them too. I won't share information about them because since 1995 I learned how to work with celebrities, and you have to show them that you've got their best interest for them to stay friends with you.
But the only celebrity I've got who's a friend with me is probably Fat Steven and maybe Doomcock, although, Doomcock doesn't talk to me that much, but,
Doomcock has talked to us, but he dismisses me.
Yeah, I heard that story.
Dismisses you, huh?
Well, because it's like, look, I love Doomcock. I do. I love his show. I really do. But he comes across more of a person who understands filmmaking from an actor's perspective rather than a filmmaker's perspective. And so he said some things that, as a filmmaker, I found absurd. And I'm like, once he approached it that way, I couldn't converse with him any further. Because one, he's not going to listen to anything I said, because I don't think he understands what I'm talking about. I actually went to film school to learn to talk that language, to understand structure. I wish Doc was here, but he's not here. He messaged me, "I'll be there in 90 minutes." I wrote back to him, "We'll be over in 60."
I need to get you on this. I need to get you on a stream with my buddy Matt Kadish, who is also a film student.
Yeah, I know who he is. Yeah,
and stuff. And you guys would just sit there and riff off each other, and I could just sit in the corner. And,
well, it's sort of like when we killed, T-shirt and I ruined a complete conversation with a bunch of other people because we went off on a tangent about historical stuff, and then everybody was just sort of got quiet and shrank away. It's like, oh shit, historians are talking. Oh, I've got to what? Yeah, I gotta go. What? Yeah, I'll be there. Oh, I got by.
Yeah,
that's what happens when you start talking history.
Yes.
Now, unless you're a history buff, you absolutely want to fucking walk away from a history conversation because hardly anybody knows what the fuck you're talking about.
Or don't go to movies with us either. I said they're historical movies because we'll just sit there and tear the fucking movie to pieces.
Yeah, I mean, Keith knows this. Actually, Dale Dye, because he's my boss, knows he was the military advisor for Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, shit.
Him and his wife know all the digs I've made at Saving Private Ryan.
Oh.
I said, hey, walk on a ridge line. First thing they teach you in basic not to ever do in the military. Don't make yourself a silhouette.
Yeah.
And they do it. Like I was openly mocking the movie in the theater. And I turned to this guy next to me. I said, isn't it great they're out in German occupied territory yelling at each other in full voice and standing only 3 yards apart?
Yeah, I just watched Saving Private Ryan like 2 weeks ago, and I was wondering that very thing. It's like they're having a full-fledged conversation behind enemy lines right now. It's great.
And that New York, I actually know he's a Boston actor. He says he quit saluting the captain, and I'm first thing out of my mouth was, why don't you tell the captain to take those butter bars off his fucking helmet? That also would help not making him a target. Get some fucking big captain bars on the back of the helmet.
I'll never forget.
It's
back
like
when
that
I was
Peter Griffin scene where you guys are all gonna be looking for guys in green, and he's dressed like a clown behind all the other soldiers.
Oh
they'll
yeah,
they'll be looking for you guys.
Yeah,
I'm perfectly safe.
That's right. That was great.
I'll never
clown
forget
camo.
My favorite teacher back in college, the history teacher. Gladiator had just come out. We had just gotten finished watching it at the movie theater, and went to his class, and he was teaching, Roman and Greek military tactics and all this stuff. And the first thing I said is, hey, okay, did you see Gladiator? And he said, yeah, I did. And I said, what did you think of it? Well, they got one thing right. Rome was in Italy. So, yeah, he didn't think much of that film.
Yeah, I get it. Let's find a subject to talk about here. Kate, anything this week interests you?
I don't remember.
And that's why they call it dope.
No, I actually don't use drugs. Well, I use prescribed drugs, but that's it.
I know, I'm just teasing. And besides that, I don't see dope as a drug. It really isn't. It's no more of a drug than booze. In fact, I think less harmful than booze. Yeah, but I'm a booze guy. I'm a booze guy, and but I don't drink anymore. I'm not an alcoholic. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't drink often. I just don't.
Although I've said, now that they've legalized it in our state, I would really like to get some weed cookies.
Yeah, I get that.
Gummy bears, right?
Well, okay. What's the audience interested in right now? What are you guys interested in out there in the chat?
Yeah, Sean says something about cave women because he's doing a cave woman thing.
I'm pro cave woman.
He's like,
that's good.
I'm self-promoting. Thanks, Sean. You're welcome. Sean is an amazing artist. I like his cave woman artwork. Good stuff.
Oh, I am so livid right now.
Why?
I just finished watching that video. I am so livid right now.
Which video?
The smear campaign by.
Oh yeah.
Well, the one I was talking about, right?
Yeah, I just downloaded it just in case he deletes it. Not only is that a smear campaign, Can I share, or do you want me not to talk about it?
I need context.
No, please.
Well, let's just say we have quarter. I have the video here. I can actually pull up if we want to watch it. We can actually put it in the share if you want.
How long is it?
2 minutes.
All right, we're going to play the video, no matter how angry we all get. Let's not talk over it. All right, share the video.
I'm getting it. Hold on. I just had it. Where is it? There it is. Put it in the share for you.
I'm actually trying to find a few rabbit holes that are very powerful and try to find which rabbit hole is the closest to your interest.
For me, once I started diving hard into some of these people's YouTube videos, you kind of get hooked. Maybe they'll stop pushing this feminist agenda that has driven Star Wars into the ground.
We are going to talk more about Disney and their feminist agenda.
She has some weird resentment towards the male fans of this franchise.
All-conquering female figure now is occluding this great myth of the hero.
Rey had randomly been amazing at everything. She was the ultimate Mary Sue.
We didn't acknowledge the presence of the ultimate Mary Sue.
Daisy Ridley, she got harassed, but she did something about gun control, so.
Last week, author and writer Chuck Wendig was fired.
James Gunn fired from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This is awesome.
Documented history of dozens of anti-white tweets.
They're claiming that this was some sort of anti-white genocide.
I'm Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, and you're watching Ethan Van Sciver.
Brings me to Rose. Don't even get me started.
Didn't even have the decency to fucking die.
She better die in the coma because she is a dumbass bitch.
Kelly Marie Tran being chased off. Or, she wasn't chased off, she chose.
Essentially, Space Anita Sarkeesian. Nobody wants her on Earth, nobody wants her in outer space.
And 5 years later, when Bannon wound up at Breitbart, he resolved to try and attract those people over to Breitbart because he thought they could be radicalized in a kind of populist nationalist way.
He follows this idea of the Breitbart doctrine, which is that if you want to change politics, you first have to change culture, because politics flows from culture.
It's not just about Star Wars anymore. It's about all the pop culture that's being invaded.
The battle for Star Wars, the battle for culture.
And I would say that Ichibaka's title of this article is a little tame. She has a huge problem with white people.
Stop trying to turn our cultural icons into your moralistic authoritarianism.
To be a part of that community and that group of people, it was really fun.
All right, now before we finish this, I want to quote what the tweet was attached to this video. This is by Rewriting Ripley Pod, a nobody. Aided by the analysis of over 1 million tweets and 1K YouTube videos, this is the full story of the alt-right radicalization in the Star Wars fandom. From designated white supremacist hate groups to YouTubers, this is how hate attacked the Star Wars sequel trilogy and won. What a load of bullshit smear I have ever seen in my life.
What they do is they ignore the fact that there are just as many liberals as there are conservatives in this movement. And this has nothing to do with politics, but with social politics. Period. There's a fucking difference, and that they want to ignore it doesn't matter. They can ignore it all they fucking want to. This is not politics. This is social politics.
The worst part is the end clip where they're showing Ryan like how I like to be part of this group. He literally, that was clipped in such a way where it makes it feel like he joined a hate group and he had pleasure and joy from it. That's not what it was. It was finding people that had a common trait because Last Jedi disappointed and hurt a lot of people. That's where a lot of these channels came from. It had nothing to do with this, or this. It had to do with the fact that a movie sucked, it destroyed a lot of heroes, and it made the franchise fall off that cliff, and it's still falling off that cliff.
Yeah.
How
And,
dare Ripley say crap like this? And I even hate saying that name.
Hey, Keith,
Wow.
Keith, as our in-house liberal, please jump in here. Save it.
Hey, I'm a liberal too.
Shut up, T-shirt.
You know, again, the thing about the kind of discourse that is engaging right now compared to how Gary and I communicate is just so different, unfortunately. You know, we've reached a point where nobody really wants to listen, which is really how you get to a positive understanding and a real communication between people. I don't believe that there's that much that truly separates a lot of us, and that a lot of what's gone sideways over the last few years is really just a small number of individuals who just happen to have all kinds of time because for whatever reason they're not working and spend all their time on they spend way too much time on Twitter. For me,
and let's
my
put that into context. When you say way too much time, let's really say what that means. An inordinately unnatural amount of time.
Yeah.
There's nothing normal about the time they spend on it. So please continue, Keith.
Unless they're high school kids, and even then, you know, I just am amazed that there are people out there that really want to just sink a whole lot of different interest in business because they have a particular point of view that they desperately need you to share. Not
How
to listen
dare
to,
you
not to
right-wing
debate,
Nazi prick.
but they just feel the need that you need to be one of them or have the same ideas as them. And that's not really how life works, you know.
Well, yeah, they want to live in an echo chamber. They want to have everybody espouse the exact same values, even though really the values they do espouse aren't values at all.
The second thing is also, isn't Ben Shapiro also Jewish? I don't think he would fall into the white supremacist.
He's very Jewish.
You know, like, isn't that the Vulcan eyebrows? I can understand, but I don't think he's going down that like alt-right hate group. Yeah, you remember the
Spock and
Gina
Harry
interview.
Potter's kid.
Yeah, it was Bert from Bert and Ernie.
Burton.
He's so faithful that he brings his own food when he goes to convention.
Yeah, he's always wearing his yarmulke.
Yeah, always.
Definitely supremacist. Definitely.
He
hides his whole monologue under there.
Yeah. And you know, I find it funny people call him a right winger. The fact is, he's a libertarian.
No, he's not. He may have some libertarian ideals.
Because I know a lot of conservatives that don't like him.
No, Ben is a constitutionalist, which is kind of a libertarian.
I like that.
Kind of a
yeah, because that's really what I am.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that video had like Pepe the Pew pop up, going, "There was another right wing. He always was running around."
Because you know he's based. No, I was just going to say he's based on a French actor, a famous French actor, Charles Boyer, who Pepe Le Pew is based on. The accent and everything, the charm and the way that he is always womanizing. Come here, my love, mon chéri, I shall kiss you. But the thing is, you know, why he's canceled. I'm just like, that's the weirdest cancel.
I always thought he was kind of like based on Maurice Chevalier, but
it's Charles Boyer.
Charles Boyer, okay.
Oh wait, T-shirt. It's that time. You want to remind all of us that you're Hispanics?
Yes, this is your daily, actually your 5-minute reminder that yes, T-shirted is a Hispanic, a minority on this channel. Thank you very much. This has been your Hispanic notification.
This is your 5-minute warning that nobody cares.
Vader is, of course, a Vader. And,
yes.
So he's also a very small part of the population.
Very small.
Really want to admit that they're Vaders.
He is an uplifted honey badger.
Uplifted honey badger.
Honey
badger doesn't give a shit.
I've never been called that before, but okay. That's cool.
If you're up here, you'd be called a beaver.
Is a soulless ginger.
Whoa!
At least it's real, and obviously so.
Yes,
No complaints here.
I have a child who's an absolute ginger. We have gingers in our family. It doesn't really show on me because my hair is so dark, but if it gets sun bleached, it's red, bright red, because we're Irish, and that means that we have a lot of Viking blood in us.
My wife's a ginger.
Invaded Ireland.
My
Your
wife's
wife's a ginger?
Yes, very much so. And she hates it when we go out because we'll go to the grocery store or something, right? And another one of those weird ass redheads will walk by.
Weird ass redheads.
And
a not
I'll ask
natural
her,
redhead.
and I'll go, and she'll, and I'll ask her, I go, are you communicating with them telepathically or giving them the secret sign? And she gets so pissed off at me, dude. It's really funny.
And I read a report, what was it, about 10 years ago that said that by 2050, gingers will be dead. They won't even exist anymore.
It's a recessive
Which I, of course,
gene.
call bullshit on. I'm like,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's recessive. Like my mom's a blonde and my dad has black hair. But
Have you ever talked about the canceling of redheads in Hollywood?
Oh, yeah.
We
I
have.
have a very specific reason why I think they do that.
It's crazy to me.
Keith and I have talked ad nauseum about how not only do they cancel gingers, they recast them as a different race.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
Which is funny because I have met and know people with more melanin than I who have red hair. It's not a skin thing at all.
Yeah.
It's a hair gene, not a skin gene.
Yeah, not having a soul has nothing to do with race.
Look at Twitter. None
I'm
of them
always
have
told I
souls.
have half a soul. So
I've been a fan since I was a
my
little kid.
beard is red.
Yeah, I see that.
Yes. So
He
you're a
glued it on
ginger.
this morning.
Yeah,
I'm half a
Hey,
I'm half a ginger.
I understand they have Hispanic gingers too. Isn't that true, T-shirt?
None that I have met, but
Oh, come
I'm
on.
sure
There's
it
a famous
exists.
fucking boxer.
Well, he's Hispanic because he was born and raised there, not because he necessarily is like all Latino.
Well, isn't that what?
Well, yeah, I know what you're talking about, actually. I don't remember his name.
I think he is Hispanic.
Yeah, because he's born and raised in Mexico, and he probably has one parent that is.
But there are redheads in Mexico. I've met them.
Yeah, of course.
And-
'Cause there's
And a lot of that is because, and
weird
this is
now.
something not two people know, but T-shirt knows,
Yes.
is that after the Civil War, a lot of the Irish that tried to make roots in the U.S. moved south of the border because of the Civil War.
Yeah. Yeah. 'cause
Right,
it's-
T-shirt?
Yes, actually, my grandmother was she was a redhead with blue eyes and pale skin, and my older cousin was also a blonde with blue eyes.
Yeah,
So
it happens.
yeah, they're just straight out of Spain, basically.
Straight out of Spain.
Yeah.
Keith and I are laughing for the same reason. It's like straight out of Compton.
Yeah.
You should
Straight out
really
of
just
Spain.
change your name
Yo,
to
just
T-shirt
straight out of
Hispanic.
Spain.
T-shirted Hispanic.
Hey guys.
Well, actually, it's funny that the historian gene kicked off because Gary was talking about the Vikings and the redhead, and it's like, you did know that in Iceland the actual gene for redheads doesn't exist naturally, so they couldn't figure out why there were so many redheads in Iceland, and the historians actually had to look into it, and they figured out that it was during all the Viking raids they were kidnapping all the pretty redheaded
Those
women
Vikings,
from Ireland.
man, they fucked
guys,
around.
I have to get going.
Oh,
I have to get going real quick. I'm sorry, I gotta
There's
go.
a 2-for-1 soul sale.
Yeah.
Catch you later, buddy.
Oh,
I'll see you guys later. Okay.
See ya.
Have
See
a
you
good
later.
show.
You too.
Bye.
But it's not much of a pivot, Matt. I'm not trying to point out your thing or anything, but like they're still it falls in the same kind of line because they're giving one narrative while they're actually trying to get rid of every ginger role comic book character, and they're
Why is
replacing it
that?
usually with a black person. Like I don't know.
I got a really good reason why.
Oh no.
Because being 2% of the world is way too close to being an individual. And they want to dismantle individualism. That's their ultimate goal. It has nothing to do with physical attributes because most everyone in the world, frankly, thinks theirs. They don't just embrace that they're naturally whatever they are, which is sad. I think that's sad, but it also took me a really long time to be comfortable with myself. Because I was maliciously picked on as a kid. My brother was. He colored his hair black when he was in junior high because he was just
Yeah, that's
being
not good.
sick of being picked on. So
wow.
Yeah. I went to a different high school, so that helped a lot. But being around a bunch of even weirder artists made it easier. So, it's just being 2% is too small a minority to count as a minority, and it's too close to individualism what's the word? It's too close to individualism, which is antithetical to their narrative in the long run.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate for everyone.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm gonna lock out my camera for just a minute. I have to go pick up my stepdaughter. It'll take me a few minutes.
Can you make that face before you go?
There you go.
It's freeze frame.
Right. I'll be right back, guys. You keep talking. Keith, you're in charge.
Oh no!
You're in charge of your own channel, Keith. How does it feel?
Kind of. Yeah. Well, look.
You're stunning and brave.
Oh.
Okay. Well, look. Let me ask this: is over the course of this last week, what is the one story that has caught you off guard? What is the one thing that has caught you off guard in this last week?
That he's Hispanic.
Well, I should ask the one geek or nerd story that has caught you off guard.
Well, there not really caught me off guard, but the Benedict Cumberbatch with him like just pretty much saying no, the video we just watched, but nothing really.
Well, that's the second time you brought up the whole Benedict Cumberbatch thing. I mean, what is it about his response that you're surprised about?
Well, I think his response was pretty much very professional, but it wasn't. I don't think it was the real response. He's like, Disney? No, I've seen how they treat their Disney actors and actors. No, and he even said it too. I'd rather spend time with my family than spending 8 hours getting blue makeup on, which is a good, valid reason. But I think he said it more like, I would rather have my family spend time with them than be put in the spotlight where the way it's been going with Disney and their Star Wars from this point on. It's weeks, months, years.
I think people took it more as him declining to want to do anything with Star Wars instead of the MCU, because he sees how crazy the Lucasfilm is.
Yeah,
with things. And
would you want to join that?
Oh, absolutely not. But he had to word it to where he didn't say that, but said it at the same time. You know what I mean?
Didn't want to upset the mouse,
right?
You can't upset them.
So I get it. I wouldn't want to go in there either. So
well, the thing that's been kind of notable for me lately is the whole Kathleen Kennedy being. Is she going to be there? Is she not going to be there? And all this narrative that people are throwing out there, like, oh, no, Kathleen Kennedy's going to be gotten rid of, or no, she's staying forever. And I'm just like, guys, which is it? So.
She's 70. You don't have a solid answer, but pretty much she's probably thinking about retirement by now. But she's not going to leave until Indiana Jones is done.
Is that going to get made? Are they actually making that?
They're discussing it right now. I still personally think it depends on how everything works out once we get past really all of our restrictions due to C-19.
Yeah.
I think Disney's going to wait to see how everything shakes out towards the end of the year. Is the economy going to bounce back? And realistically, is Disney going to bounce back as far as attendance in their parks and various other things? I think that's definitely something that they could, and probably knowing Bob Chapek, I think that's really what they're waiting for, which is smart at this point. So Vader, how about you? What has surprised you in this last week?
Nothing was really crazy this week until we woke up this morning and I started seeing stuff about that article and that video. That was just that kind of dominated my day up until we started the stream here, and I still haven't gotten all the way through that thing. I scroll through it, and then I basically see how we're supposed to get our Phantom Menace marching orders from Steve Bannon somehow, and it's
Well,
just it's all goofy and weird. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Wait, Vader, you're not in that text group where he sends us constantly who you should hate today. It's right at the coffee hour,
Yeah,
bro.
no, I guess-
it's like
I
get
guess
your
I'm too proud
espresso.
to get those orders.
Well, you can't
So,
read anything. That's the problem.
Can I shine a light on this since I'm like
Sure.
big into Breitbart? Like
Let the
I have
Hispanic
some of
woman
my
talk.
best friends I have because of him. And this book that everyone forgets about, written in 2004, 2005, with a liberal, one of his best friends. Yeah, definitely worth reading still, even though it's very dated. Now, this one, his memoir, if you will, Righteous Indignation. I have a copy with the Wienergate, which is fun because Wienergate's funny. I'm still disappointed with the internet for not making jokes all day when Wiener got out of jail.
Kate, Kate, can you do me a favor? Can you type those books out in the chat so that I know what they are too? You flashed them real quick.
Penthouse and Playboy.
No.
Okay. I can't type and talk though, so.
Okay.
Sorry. I can't. That's too much hand-eye coordination I don't have. Ultimately, the point is, in Righteous Indignation, the extended version, there is absolutely no mention of Bannon, really. Not really. He is a self-appointed, self-righteous disciple, if you will. And there was a reason why he eventually got fired. And a bigger reason why people like Ben, Dana Loesch, who else? Larry O'Connor, Kurt Schlichter, other big names. It's fine you don't know them, but ultimately they left after Andrew passed away, which was a horrible, sudden thing to happen because it was a cardiac arrest. Like he was adopted, so there was no way for him to know that he'd have heart problems necessarily. So, like hereditary one. And that was like a horrible, horrible day. It really was. And but almost immediately, these pillars that have become essentially contemporary counterculture. Why someone like David Rubin has become popular because he decided to go from being a young Turk to doing his own thing and realizing that I guess I'm more like these people I thought I disliked anyway. So these things have been evolving, and all these people trying to circle around to Bannon are doing so because they have no actual ammo. They are out of everything.
Well, that's what they keep. Well, Kate,
it's just absurd.
Kate, I agree with that because you also remember if you're watching the video, they also go that slow scroll across Gamergate. They always seem to also go back to Gamergate, like all of this sprouted from Gamergate. No, let it go. And half the people you even mentioned in the video had nothing to do with Gamergate. So you're trying to branch two things because you don't have any substance of article. This is a smear campaign. And the worst part is the fact that it's so hateful and wrong, and underneath it has a link to support and donate another society. You're insulting that society. I don't know if you've seen it, but yeah, literally.
I mean, you have to. Okay, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, though, because ultimately, while where I am coming from, there is very, very little opportunity, very few lights, and from a creative person who kind of dabbled with the idea of pushing culture up before politics, which takes longer than anyone wants to admit.
Yeah.
There were so many people who just Leroy Jenkins right in there and fucked it up for the rest of us. And it was so exhausting. And it was to the point around like 2013 where I'm just like, I'm done. I give up on all of these fuckers.
Yeah.
And so this last year has been like kind of reliving like 10 years ago in some ways, but better. But so much better. Because there's so many more people who actually know what they're doing. And they're beautiful, beautiful lights, and it's like it's so many more leaps and bounds ahead of where you think you are.
Yeah.
Because I've seen where people are like, we're gonna do this and we're gonna make that, and then they do nothing. But people actually are doing it. They're not talking about it. They're just doing it, and that's the difference. And it will make It'll take a long time, but it's okay that it takes a long time.
Speaking of doing it, I mean, for my thing for this week, mine was the uploading of "Dying Is Easy," the Bat in the Sun film. That is a Batman. It's a Batman film made by the guys, the men and women of Bat in the Sun, who did a phenomenal job in creating literally a brought to life Batman comic. It is amazing if you have not seen it yet. But if you go to YouTube and type in Batman Dying Is Easy, that along with Batman Dead End are some of the best stuff that I've seen. And also check out the live action version of The Dark Knight Returns, which is by Pirate Pictures and Wyatt Weed. Also, all three of those supremo, great adaptations. But Dying Is Easy is notable because they got several big names to actually make cameo appearances in this fan film.
Well, that's cool.
And,
it's like a half hour long.
It's worth your time. I watched it yesterday on my big screen, so it looked great blown up on a 70-inch screen, and the sound, the visuals, the color, the costume, the Batman costume is way better than the one that they have for the upcoming The Batman. Not to really dig at that, although that also made my list of the things that kind of surprised me this week. The fact with the continued problems with our lead actor in that particular movie, and how bad his relationship has gotten with the director.
His relationship with the other actress seems to be really good, though.
Yeah, you know what? You act in a major Hollywood film opposite an actress who you're written in the script meant to have a relationship with isn't always something that you have to take literally. And if it gets to the point where they're catching you doing the deed on a car, and supposedly and supposedly they have, I think, not only just pictures but even video.
Yes.
And the lead actress winds up kind of in a family way.
Oh yeah.
You've taken your role a little bit too far.
I didn't know they'd gone that far. Wow.
Well, he was just testing his Batwing, right? Everyone needs to test their equipment before they go on the movie set, right? So the Batwing has to be ready. You got to make sure you're thrusting your fists and even passing and superheroing it.
You know what? In previous Batman films, you've had situations where you've even had people that used to date acting like they were romantically involved. Mm-hmm. And that would be the movie Batman Returns, because Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Keaton used to date. Okay? Yeah. They had dated years ago in the past before they made that movie. So they already knew. But, I mean,
chemistry.
Even Michael Keaton was like, you didn't have to worry about him going back there.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how uncomfortable it would have been inside the Batmobile, though. Is it like a
well,
it's probably kind of cramped.
You've already seen examples, though, of at least where one person is kind of a little into their co-star. Mm-hmm. You've seen that with Henry Cavill.
Every single Russell Crowe film.
Well, you've seen that with Henry Cavill and a few of the actresses that he's acted opposite, including Amy Adams, who's made more than a passing interest several times about how much she really enjoys being around him. And I just got to say, for the record, if I were her husband, I'd be a little worried.
I feel sorry for Henry Cavill, actually, because he's been so over-sexualized by women in general that it's kind of like you could tell he's genuinely uncomfortable in a lot of these interviews and stuff where the girls are just talking about how attractive he is and everything.
Well, it's the same with the Chris Evans thing too, right? Remember, Chris Evans is very what was the social anxiety, and he doesn't like being like dealing with a lot of crowds, especially with all those people like doing the same things. So especially with the D pick last year.
Handsome dudes.
Yeah, hot
well,
people,
and that's the thing. If you noticed in the past, it's usually guys who, when they were much younger, when they were children, were never really seen that way. As far as Henry Cavill growing up and was kind of heavy set. So for him to have dropped all that weight, and his life was very different than what I think he thought it was going to be at this age. And it seemed like a lot of women around the world do nothing but just picture him naked no matter where he goes.
I mean, he's a good-looking guy, right?
He is a good-looking guy, but I do kind of feel for him.
Superman.
I mean, that's but the positive aspect is he is one of us. He's a nerd. He spends his time gaming. And
listen, when I found
World
out
of Warcraft,
when I found out that he's a WoW player and that he spends time painting Warhammer miniatures, he like turned into my number one guy.
Yeah,
right. Like crazy. He's like, he is me, but good looking with a 6-pack.
Yes,
he is just a well-mannered dude. He's got a great sense of humor. Incredibly well-mannered. Heck, I mean, if he wanted
very professional actor.
Yeah, he just seems like one of us, except that he just happens to be.
That's
built
exactly
better.
what my brother. That's exactly what my brother said. Because when I after I don't know whatever Spider-Man 5 whatever, I was just so fucking tired. I'm sick and tired of Spider-Man being destroyed. So my brother bursts in is like, hey Kate, do you hear who's the guy playing Superman? I was like, I don't care. I'm done. Everything I love's wrecked. I don't care. And he goes, yeah, you got a casting call when he was playing WoW. It means he's one of us. I'm like, that's great. I'm glad he is. I still don't fucking care. So I just that was just funny. That's like the only real thought I have of her.
Yeah, I need to break in here because I gotta get going. The real job is calling me, but I would get in trouble if I didn't plug the podcast really quick. Please, everybody, do me a favor and go to Salty Nerd. What is saltynerdvideo.com and check out our YouTube channel. We're dropping 3 shows a week on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and we got stuff dropping every day, actually, with clips and reactions and little 60-second videos and God knows what else we're putting out. But we have a lot of fun doing that, and we're really trying to grow that channel. So come check it out, please. We're talking movies and pop culture over there at saltynerdvideo.com. So with that, I have to go and earn a paycheck, and I'm going to bail.
It was a pleasure, Matt.
It's nice having you.
It's good meeting you.
I'm looking forward to hanging out more in the future. So
I'd like to give you a compliment, Matt. You don't need abs. You wear one sexy piece of pork chop right there, bro.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Hot sauce any day.
I've been approached by some chubby chasers out there.
You're like that Frank's Red Hot. I would put it on everything.
That's good to know. It's good to know. All right, guys, I gotta go.
Take care.
Hey, see you later, Vader.
Take care, bud.
All right, man.
Salutation.
Vader's good time to see him go.
Hi, Kate.
But yeah, I can even say the same thing about Ben Affleck. He may not spend a lot of time playing World of Warcraft, but he is for the most part one of us. He definitely knows his Batman.
He knows. Yeah.
I gotta say, it would be so cool if it turned out that, and pivoting to the story about DC Comics being for sale, it'd be so cool if you found out that Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck were among the group of investors joining with Robert Kirkman to buy DC Comics. I could actually see them. Yeah, it's right now right around 300 million. So if you can get a whole bunch of friends, $25 million a piece, you could go for it. I think Robert Kirkman could probably do 50.
No.
But it would be great to have someone like Robert Kirkman be in charge of DC Comics. What do you think? I mean,
actually, I think what would be cooler is to have like a auction type situation so that all of the nerds could own a piece of the DC
that would really
comic
be
fandom.
no. I actually like that idea. Fan owned.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course, now you do realize though this is only just selling DC Comics. Warner Brothers is going to retain the rights to the characters, and so they'll have the film rights, TV rights, all the rights. I think what DC is going to have is the rights to be able to publish adventures with these characters, but that's where it stops. So all you have literally is just publishing, and when I say publishing, I really do mean just publishing the comics. That's it.
Well, I have a
comics only.
I have a small confession to make.
Yeah,
you're Hispanic.
No, everyone knows that now. Just like everybody knows you're not really Steven Seagal, so stop.
I am Steven Seagal.
No, you're not. Anyway,
Dick.
So I've never really been a huge DC fan. I mean, I liked them when I was a kid. I loved the Batman movie with Michael Keaton. I loved it, adored it. But I've always been more of a Marvel fan, just because the characters seem more relatable to me and more interesting to me. So I really fell off the DC ship a very long time ago. But it's slowly been rebuilding my interest as far as the shows go. But I can't say the comics grabbed me, and I have to admit, being a DC Comics writer has got to be the hardest job in the world, man, because it's like those characters are so overpowered. Every single one of them. It's got to be hard to make a story for those guys.
It's hard when you've been a part of everything for over 80 years. It's hard to continue to come up with new stories, especially for those particular characters that keep getting used again and again and again. And you reach a point where, you begin to realize that there are a lot of characters that they have, some of whom have never really been used again.
And
you got a lot of characters sitting there just waiting to be used again.
And that brings me to another good point on that. Not so long ago, I looked at their list of titles that they were cutting back to. And if you notice, most of them are Batman titles or Batman-related titles. I'm kind of like, you have a giant universe of characters that spans, decades, and you choose to focus mainly on Batman, some Superman and Wonder Woman, just your stock titles. I'm kind of like, golly.
That comes from the top. That's Warner Brothers influencing even DC Comics, which again they have been since they bought them. Anybody that actually thinks that Warner Brothers hasn't been leaning on DC Comics since they bought them back in 1976, I got a bridge to sell you. Okay, this is what they do. And Batman has, as Gary and I have found out, that literally is the only thing that the higher ups at Warner Brothers seems to really understand. I mean, that's really how they described how they wanted Justice League.
And
the internal thought about Justice League from the point of view of Warner Brothers executives was, Justice League is Batman underwater, Batman running fast, Batman that flies, Batman as an Amazon. That literally is from Warner Brothers. That's not Zack Snyder. I would love to see Zack Snyder's take on a lot of these characters outside of the influence of Warner Brothers, where he could actually give you what he actually wants to do with these characters. Because up to this point, we've never gotten that.
Nope.
I really didn't understand why they casted Namor for Aquaman.
I don't know. I like him. I mean, he's funny.
It's not like he's a bad actor. I don't really care. It's just I thought that was a weird look to go with.
It's weird, but different. And again, all of them work in my opinion. Definitely a different direction compared to George Miller and what he would have done in the late 90s, early 2000s. You know, literally, Warner Brothers has been churning out a whole lot of DC related content as far as movies go.
Yeah.
And they've done everything short of pulling out even a movie based on Condiment King. It's just that, again, as I keep saying, it is important to have someone who not only is well versed in the business of film, but to have someone that is truly a fan. And that is what makes Kevin Feige not only the GOAT, but a unicorn, as Gary coined. You know, he is a unicorn. He is so unique. You can't find anybody else like that in the entire business.
And that's something I had also heard from other sources, is that Marvel, since Disney only had part of their cast and that Sony owned the other part, that for years the Marvel Comics division just basically started trashing all of the Sony products, like X-Men and all that stuff.
That wasn't the only one. That wasn't. No. That was done because of Ike Perlmutter, who's the billionaire that owned Marvel, was pissed at Sony and also pissed at Fox. You never saw any merchandising after a while for any of the X-Men films after X2.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped all the toys. And it's hard to stop that with Spider-Man because Spider-Man's so popular.
Oh, yeah.
But if they could have, they would have. But when I say Marvel, I'm pretty exact. For me, it's the MCU versus everyone else, because the MCU is way different than the version of Marvel that Fox had and the version of Marvel that Sony had. If Sony's version was really any good, they would not need Kevin Feige, and they wouldn't need the MCU.
True.
And Fox would still be in business. Kevin Feige is that rare. There is no one else right now in Hollywood that has anything to offer to be able to run any other universe. And even if you were to find that person, you still would have to have the people that run these corporate entertainment giants. You'd have to allow this person the opportunity to have the power and ability to run that on their own the same way Kevin Feige was given. Circumstances dictated everything that he did. He got a chance to mold it the way that it needed to be molded and to get those stories right. And so I don't think we're ever going to see a run like we had with the MCU for 10 years. I don't think we're ever going to see that again. From anybody. And definitely not from Sony. Fox is out of business. Warner Brothers, at this point, it seems like they're never really going to give anybody that opportunity. Universal's not going to do it, of course, after what Alex Kurtzman did to them with the Dark Universe. I'm not surprised they're ever going to let anybody do that to them again. And Paramount, I don't see them doing that. So Kevin Feige's pretty much going to be it until he retires. And even after that, I don't see anybody else coming in that's going to be able to do that. So what we have now, I would say, Gary and I being older than everyone else, this is something that we're used to. You got used to seeing glimmers of hope and then watching it fade. And so a lot of you guys have just been on an extended vacation with this stuff, but eventually it is going to end. Kevin Feige is going to get tired of this. And eventually he'll just, I don't see him going anywhere else. I see him just literally retiring, because what more could he want to do? I mean, Star Wars, he's a big Star Wars fan, yes, but I don't see him jumping into that, and I don't see him being big onto wanting to work with Hasbro and doing more Transformers or G.I. Joe. I don't see him doing that either. I think he'll just one day just release a statement and say that's it.
Now, kind of like this is like a little shout out to one of my friends from back home, but I would like to actually see some of the more independent creations brought back and under a different studio with some professional billing. I'd like to see The Shadow brought back. I'd like to see Dave Stevens' Rocketeer. That needs to come back. That was such a good series. And
Dynamite's been doing good work with a lot of that stuff. A lot of the pulp hero stuff, Dynamite Entertainment comics, they've been doing a phenomenal job with that. I would highly suggest that everyone out there just, go out and seek out some really cool independent comic companies and give them some of your time.
Yes.
Check out some of the books that are being published through that, but also check out some of the stuff that we're lucky to get back, like Milestone. Even though that is published through DC, it is pretty much an independent comic publisher that is publishing through DC Comics. Those guys definitely would love your business. And I'm hoping that we can see some more entertainment stuff thrown their way. I would love to see some of this talent out there in Hollywood thrown their way to actually produce more stuff.
Script Doctor, you can't drop a bomb like that and not tell us. Come on, you got to get in here and tell us about this. The Shadow coming back. Come on. You got to tell us more. What do you know? What have you heard?
Yeah, Script Doctor. I'd love to hear it because
we actually are going over. So come on, man. I didn't think we'd last this long. I thought I'd come back and y'all would the whole lobby would be empty.
It's just Keith.
Are we going to tell Keith? Are we going to tell Keith that this is a pre-recorded video and we all left for Denny's about an hour ago?
Don't say anything yet.
I wouldn't be surprised. But
yeah, these are all canned comments that are meant to talk over Keith.
If there's one person whom I would love to see their script for The Shadow, it'd be Sam Raimi.
Yes.
Well, he kind of,
who knows
that territory with
Darkman. Yeah,
The Shadows knows.
Yeah, he did. Darkman was good.
You're talking about an actor who should play Cranston.
Yeah,
is Liam Neeson. He's got the nose for it. Jeez,
you gotta dislike. Oh, someone doesn't like you. Oh,
you know what? The thing about it is he pretty much cannibalized his Shadow script in order to make Darkman. But yeah, you're right. Liam Neeson would have been phenomenal as the Shadow. And definitely height-wise, he would have been taller than most of the people he would have played against.
Yes.
But again, it's one of those twists and turns of Hollywood. I'd like to see a script, and I'm sure, as Script Doctor is saying, I'm going to read from what he has here. Let's see. But many of the publications that were there you go. That were reprinting Shadow pulps and comics have had their licenses lapsed, not renewed, which means the main holders are pushing for a film, TV, cartoon adaptation. Look, I look at it this way. If you're going to go animation, you better do something along the lines of what we saw for Spawn on HBO. You better be something that is just visually striking. As far as film or television would be cool. Film would be so much better. The Phantom, the Phantom would also be great. I would love to see the Phantom back out on film. But the Phantom,
I had issues with the Billy Zane version. Horse running the same speed as a plane. But there was a lot of fun shit in that movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
it
know,
was.
you know which one killed me?
What's
I had
that?
so much hope for The Spirit because I thought, oh, this is going to be so good. It's going to be, you know, done by Frank Miller, and it looks
Yeah.
cool, and it had some
Oh,
great talent.
so bad.
And that movie sucked so bad.
No, I saw that, Doc. It was not very good. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Not very good. It was a modern telling of the Phantom.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it is hard to do a lot of this pulp stuff. I mean, I personally would love to see more of it. I will say this, depending on how everything shakes out once Jason Kilner is done looking over how Warner Brothers does what they do and he decides to get rid of Toby, we could be looking at something. But I wouldn't hold my breath for Warner Brothers to shell out any money because they've got DC. They have everything connected to DC, anything you could ever want, any type of character. They have war covered, World War II. They have pulp heroes as well as superheroes. They have horror. They have space adventures. They got it all. They just need to use it. That's all. Just need to use it. But if
The
you're
TV movie
Universal,
was actually not that bad.
if you're Universal, if you are Paramount, most definitely.
I do believe,
I think-
before you continue, I wanted to say something. I believe that TV movie, Michael Kitchener was involved with the producing of it. And that's
Wasn't
why
that
it
the
didn't
one?
stick.
Wasn't that the one with Sam J. Jones?
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that available on YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
I think it
Yeah,
might
I've
be.
seen it on YouTube. I
Yeah.
can't guarantee it's still available, but it was available at one point.
Sam J. Jones and Nana Visitor, and this is Nana before Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Huh.
I enjoyed
So-
it. I enjoyed that little movie. But,
I think Sam would have been a really cool. He would have been really good as. Oh man, just left my head. As Nick Fury.
Does
He
anybody
would've been
know
a
what
re-
Ragnareth's talking about? Or Raging Rat?
He's got a wrench.
Yeah, because he said it here. Why do I have a wrench? And then he said this. And is this like an inside joke with a movie or something?
No, I think he's talking about like his mediation powers in the chat.
Did I give him one? I don't recall giving him one. But
Maybe it's a changed name.
let me go look and see.
Hello, script.
Hey. You guys are still going, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So look, give us what you got, man. You can't drop the shadow thing. And
Yeah,
then
give it to us. Give it to us
Yes.
Who knows?
Okay.
Did you also know that Keith is black?
Keith Black?
Yeah, blew my mind when I turned the
I
contrast
thought
up.
he was just really tan.
I thought he was a photo negative of Gary.
Every time he looks down, I think he's writing another thing on his will.
Yeah.
Please hire someone to kill that fat Steven.
Hey, for Fat Steven, this is just for you, buddy.
Intent stare.
I made that.
I
just
love
for
you, Gary. I love you. I love you too.
You need the picture of him eating the carrot, though.
You're
Fat
okay to
Steven loves
me
that one.
too. I sound like Barney from Simpsons.
So, script, is the shadow coming back as like the actual shadow, or is it going to be like the woke shadow?
No idea as of yet. All I know is that last year, a lot of the licenses for reprinting of the pulps and the comic books to, I guess, like Dynamite and all those other publishers that do shadow comic books, the licenses weren't renewed.
Uh-oh.
And usually when that's the case, it means the license holder is shopping to look for someone to take it into a new medium so that when it does go to like film or television, he can then sell the licenses back to those publications and at a higher rate because another studio is kind of doing free advertising for them. And this has happened before. It actually happened, I think, shortly in the 90s when the Alec Baldwin Shadow film went into production. They suspended the licensees of the reprints of things of that, and then ramped it back up when the Shadow debuted in theaters at that time.
Right.
But they're doing this right now with the Shadow, with Doc Savage, with Solomon Kane, and a couple of other pulp properties as well.
Oh, I want to see Solomon Kane.
I mean, they already did a movie of him like a few years back.
Yeah, and it was good.
Yeah.
You Doc Savage?
Yeah.
Doc Savage.
Man of Bronze.
Yeah, the actor who got fired from V, he played Solomon Kane. Pierpoint or whatever the fuck his name is. It was actually a really good film. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it was poorly advertised. That's the other part too.
He was happy.
Yeah, I didn't even know about it until it was like on video on demand. It was already available, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting
I got
that.
the DVD.
Yeah.
Oh, you're fucking special.
You know why I'm special? Because I live really close to Robert E. Howard's house, and you're just being nasty.
I got the DVD.
That's right.
I have the physical media. Did you hear what I just told everybody
And I
here?
live closer to Robert E. Howard's house than any of you, so fuck
Hello,
you.
Doyle rules.
Yeah, I can go visit him
Conan
anytime.
series in the works.
This whole
Doyle
episode
rules.
was at the beginning when you, Fat Steven, and T-Shirt just started talking over each other doing NPR voices.
I love NPR voices.
And I was watching
We gotta get in.
Andrea just sort of like going, what did I get myself into? Her face went absolutely
Welcome
blank.
to NPR, where I will be opening this package of HDMI cables.
The key to a proper NPR is talking through your teeth. It's talking through your teeth and making sure everything has an extra.
It has to be phonetically sound and proper.
Here at NPR, we all have a license to talk in a manner
Whatever you want, even though it's always the same.
For pennies a day, you too can support Sally Struthers eating hobbits.
Oh shit!
Dan Castanella does the best one in Parks and Recreation.
Probably. Like my mom worked in radio for like 20 years, so making fun of NPR is just part of my life. And
Back to you, Steve.
That's not to say that like I dislike the current. As far as any normal NPR, I don't care. I think the current's okay. I think they did it right, and they sued the shit out of Al Gore, so that's fine.
I would like to segue to Man Bear Pig. Is it fact or fiction?
Oh, it's totally fact. Man Bear Pig is real.
Definitely nothing.
I love Keith. He is like the ultimate facepalm meme, and I swear to God, it's great.
He just has this dad face for everyone all the time.
He's
like, I want. This is what it means to be the only adult in a room.
Yes.
He's like looking online. Are there Groupons for vasectomies? I wonder.
He's feeling bad because it's like 1 minute ago we were
can
having
get one for you and your
serious, honest
friend.
discourse.
We can all do it
Gary
together.
shows back up and he just fucked everything up again.
The more people on the Groupon, the less you pay.
Did you say Groupon?
No, I said Groupon, not Groupon. You sick weirdo.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There.
I got excited. I can't help it.
Yeah, that is my new. When it starts to get a little unhinged, I'm going to show that video. Well, if Steven's here, otherwise it would be weird. I'll show this.
I do?
No, it's to promote you, make you feel good.
Oh, can you do one for me
and
then?
if you're
Have
not
Ricardo
here,
Montalban as
well, if
Khan
it's-
doing it?
No,
We just need a Taco Bell Chihuahua commercial for you. We'll
Oh,
be
that's
good.
racist.
But for the rest of the time, when Steven's not here, this is the video I'll show.
I like you. You have balls. I like balls.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
I am so happy I don't get the balls. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I don't want the balls.
I like balls. Why for you hit me with rock?
Hi, Keith. How are you? I'm waving right now. Hi, how are you? Doing good? I can't wave. Hi. He's like, where's the exit?
Yo, man. Stop that shit, cracker.
Back in my hood, they called me Breton.
Breton.
Like the cracker.
All right. Where the fuck are we going with this now? Doc, you're here. What are we going to talk about, Keith? Save the fucking
Ritz.
day.
Well, I was just going to say that I'm not the only person on the internet that knows about The Shadow and Doc Savage and Solomon Kane. There's actually a YouTube channel on here called The Shadowcast, which is all about The Shadow.
Oh, cool.
And it's run by the guy on the Rageaholic Razor Fist. And I grew up with these Shadow Pulps. I had the first 100 until my mom sold them at a garage sale while I was away at college because I couldn't take them all
What
with
is it
me.
called? The Shadow what?
Shadowcast.
What's the difference between that and the Phantom? Because I don't know.
Okay, so the Phantom is a generational pulp character, well, comic strip character most likely. So his father, like the Phantom's father, swore to fight piracy in the jungles of Bengala, and every son that he has takes on his name and becomes the Phantom to make it appear like he is an immortal being.
Okay.
And the Shadow is a guy who, his name is Kent Allard. He may be a European who is fight on his own quest for justice, and he poses as various people in the United States, most prominently Lamont Cranston, and he just finds criminals and basically people that are trying to subvert democracy.
And he has the power of
against
becoming
them.
a living shadow.
Yeah, he has like hypnotizing. Well, like
Yeah.
in the pulps, he doesn't start out having powers to hypnotize. That comes a little later. But he's this guy who he disguises himself as various people in mundane jobs so that he can overhear and listen to like cops and people, discuss whatever. But he's got
It's
immense
funny.
wealth.
I borrowed from that when I
Well,
did.
Batman borrowed from the Shadow.
Well, I borrowed that
Moon Knight.
aspect for Vindicated because in the story, the main character, the hero, doesn't disguise himself. He is a disabled veteran, but he disguises himself as a homeless disabled veteran. And the line in the script that I wrote was, if you want to disappear in anybody's field of vision, become a disabled homeless vet.
Yeah.
And so he just rolls around and he listens in on conversations, just sitting on the street, waiting outside for certain people to go by.
Social
think-
commentary.
That particular aspect of the Shadow, I think, they took that from Sherlock Holmes.
And you know what? You're probably right, because he did do that shit a lot, disguise himself.
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes was a chemist and who happened to also consult on criminal cases. Like in his very first appearance, he's learning that blood turns brown after like many hours because of the iron. In it.
Yep.
But yeah, like Walter Gibson wrote like 300 of them before he retired, and then someone else took over. They're really well done. He comes up with a great formula for how it all works out, and he wrote fast and loose a little bit, but he also kept notes, and he was the first person to kind of like really make some hardcore continuity within his books at the time. And I've been rereading them for like the last few years anyways, because I got a whole bunch of digital copies, because finding the actual physical pulps, number one, hard, number two, when you do find them, ridiculously expensive. I do not have the disposable income for that these days.
They used to have a pulp museum in La Plata, Missouri, which is the home of Lester Dent. And for many years, I had always wanted to go up there, but I could never really determine where it was exactly. But now that I know exactly where La Plata is, turns out that museum's no longer there.
Really? What happened to that?
I have no idea. It's gone.
I remember hearing about it.
I know. I mean, I've seen
troubling.
pictures.
Why would
it's been gone for years, dude. It's been gone for years. They do have a place there, a building about not City Hall, but they have a building there about the history of La Plata and the whole thing about Lester Dent and the Shadow.
I'm reading a note right now. Here it is. It says, "We gave up. Keith and Gary never showed up. We just closed. We let somebody else down." That's so typical for us.
We're such horrible people.
You can visit all of his notes, Lester Dent's notes and everything he donated to the University of Missouri in
I'm
Columbia.
sorry. I just saw the image of one note that says, "Don't forget to get cheese." Why am I reading this?
So for a lot of you pulp fans, I mean, you can look at Lester Dent's notes, or you can visit, I think, his home and some of his artifacts in La Plata, Missouri.
Yeah, we need to find out if they just maybe moved location or something. We need to look that up.
No, I looked. Trust me, I looked.
Well, we need to find somebody that was involved with it and ask them why, motherfucker, why? Why
well,
you
good luck on
close?
that. Because visiting La Plata, Missouri, if you were to look up the whole thing online, it literally is like going. And I don't mean anything bad about this. It's just a really, really, really small town. I mean, really small.
Like Lawn, Texas.
Like Cooperstown, small, which is just a road.
Yeah, that's a lot of what it's like. And if you go to Google Maps and you do the whole visual tour thing, you can see how small that place is.
I love small towns, though.
And no, nothing wrong with it. It was just like, a couple of years back, before even the Google technology, they described how they used to have the Pulp Museum there was downtown, and it was a really nice sized museum. And they had not just Doc
Apparently,
Savage.
all they have is a train station now.
Oh
wait, no, there's a town. There's a town. I see it.
Yeah.
Now.
It is so different than what I had looked up even. And the original Pulp Museum that they had covered everything.
Wow.
And
Check out this old Amtrak station. Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I love that architecture.
Well, it's about an hour or so, give or take, north of Columbia, Missouri.
Oh, so it's on the other side. Okay.
Yeah. It's not on the south side of. It's not on our side of Missouri. You got to go to Columbia, and then.
Yeah, we're on this south western
West
side of the state.
Yeah, southwestern side of the
I
state.
am literally on the border with Oklahoma.
You guys act like your town, like your state is so big.
It's a big state.
Well, in order to get to Columbia, you got to drive almost 3 hours.
Oh, okay. So like a trip to Dallas for me.
Yeah, from one side of the state to the other is a 4-hour trip.
So wait a minute. Since you're that close to Dallas, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Are you actually going to take a look at going to the AT&T exhibit for Justice League?
I can't get the time off from work. This would have been the 1 week I could have, unfortunately.
Well, it's not going to close down
You're
anytime
a
soon.
terrible communist.
I work 6 days a week. Okay, I can't help
Telling
it.
everyone he's Hispanic. That's what he does for 6 days a week.
That's true.
It is definitely going to be down in Dallas for the next several months.
Oh,
and
okay.
probably longer if Justice League is a big hit.
If it's still going on when we have our break here in June and July, I may go take a look.
Yeah, because
it's like you don't get a break until June or July.
Yep, pretty much.
Damn, that's a long job.
It's a long ass time to be working, but that's the way it is down here in Texas. So
everything's big in Texas, including your work hours.
Everything in Texas is big except my fucking paycheck.
They even put masks on my paycheck. What the hell?
They
not
had
anymore. Hey, you heard about that, right? We're mask free down here.
Bless you. No, I was going to say. I was going to say they had an exhibit for Wonder Woman 84 that they had put together before Wonder Woman came out, and that was the exhibit that this replaced. So they just recently got rid of it. So if it took them that long to do it, you're fine.
Oh, good.
You've got time.
Okay.
But look it up online. The hours are there. The phone number's up now. You can, if you manage to go, come on back to the show and tell us what you thought of it.
Take some photos with your camera or your phone.
Do you know how those work? You being a boomer and all?
Well, I had no idea. Shit, I barely figured out indoor plumbing.
Uh-oh.
I have to get the hamster to turn in a medium pace before my water come out of my tap.
Gary, tell me about them dinosaurs for real now when you were walking with them dinosaurs.
When I was a boy, we had to stick them. And, boy, you better get a big stick because those little sticks just piss them off.
You had to run up this big hill you see in 50 feet of snow while the brontosaurus chased you down for one of those acorns you hid in your back pocket.
I don't
Next thing you know, Triceratops took out your teacher and it was the end of the day.
Onion skins for shoestrings.
We then had this one guy named Wise Old Keith. When every time you said something, he put his head down and shook it going, I'm sorry, Lord. I'm so sorry.
You know what would be funny? We should do a voiceover.
He's slowly fading out of camera.
Yeah. He's going full Kathleen Kennedy on the fade out with plaid in the background.
He's gonna fall out of his chair.
Plaid.
You know the thing that freaks me out? What's with the sheet?
What I think it is, it's the only way to get that ghost that haunts him on camera.
It's to hide the stains from the dead bodies.
What it is all my concept work for the Corey show.
He killed his last partner on a show.
I couldn't find any plastic sheets.
He's not. He really didn't. Hock Holman's still going.
It's the family embarrassment. He's hiding it.
When the camera goes off, the pyramid scheme comes out, and off comes the curtain, and there it is, right there.
Oh
Lord.
I just want to say that yes, Mom and Dad, this is actually fun for me.
This is what he does for fun.
Keith, for next time you're on camera, can you please get like those giant ass googly eyes and put them on the sheet behind you? So every time you do go out of camera, it looks like a ghost is behind you.
Yeah.
With its arms raised, trying to haunt you.
Get like a Scooby-Doo cutout at the same time.
It was either this or become the drug dealer.
Well, the drug dealers work too, man.
You know, the funny part is when Zoe and I lived in the house before our big move to Arizona, I found out I lived like 3 blocks from Keith. We were friends and had no idea we lived like 3 blocks. Like, I never visited anybody.
I blame myself.
Keith would be like the sweetest drug dealer ever. Do y'all want to come buy some pharmaceuticals? Possibly made in my bathtub.
I got this GHB here, you see, and it does wonders for date night.
You want? We got donuts. You want some donuts?
I made these brownies special.
Have you heard of these things called the pink Mitsubishis? Let me tell you something.
I'm behind on the stream, but this panel is killing it. Love the deep dive.
Oh, thanks.
Zach, that's because we're all mildly mentally retarded. And I mean it in the clinical sense.
Retarded.
That's not fair. I have physical brain damage. It's not my fault.
And I'm autistic.
And T-shirt was dropped as a baby. Actually.
Probably.
All right. I'm sorry.
T-shirt was the kid who played lawn darts and catch.
Over my joke, prick.
I have fought in a few times. I've been hitting the head a lot. So
I'd just like to tell my son to make sure the grandkids are not watching this.
Oh.
And don't play with lawn darts with family members.
Or blasting caps.
Whoa! Oh, no.
I grew up in an area where we would find blasting caps.
See?
Was it a blast?
Or cap guns? Oh.
Except for Timmy, he's missing 2 fingers.
We'd shoot him.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. It's the fun shit you do when you live in the country.
What are you getting ready to say, Keith? What?
It's just a boomerang comment, and it just came back, and I reacted to it.
Well, I got to tell you, if you grew up in our era, somebody, one of you, Keith possibly, took an entire roll of caps from a cap gun.
Yep, I remember
and
that.
Hit him with a hammer.
Oh yeah,
yep.
Absolutely.
I've seen it done.
Oh yeah.
I remember the
done it,
biggest
seen it
disappointment
done.
I had was the years that I grew up in was the little red missiles that used to shoot out of the Battlestar Galactica toys.
Yep.
And
Yeah, you never keep them. They always get lost.
Well, that's the
G.I. Joe
thing.
ones too.
That's the thing. I was so looking forward to getting those, and I guess it was like I don't remember which birthday it was, but I got one of those little Cylon ships, and I remember, getting the missiles and everything. And it's like the missiles did not launch from the Cylon ship because they built it to where like the little red tabs would come out, but they wouldn't actually launch because the kids had been swallowing the missiles and aspirating on them,
Get shot in the eye.
Yeah. It's the most disappointing shit ever. I mean,
Moms
it's like,
were the first snowflakes that ruined shit for us.
Yes. Well, I grew up with Mad.
They didn't stop. They didn't stop the whole pet rock, which I thought was just dumb from the beginning. But that's
the pet rock thing. First, it had googly eyes, and then they gave it the mohawk in the late '80s.
Little tufts.
Punk rock.
It's Yeti.
Oh, Yeti's here. Yeti, you should have an invite. I know. Blame us moms is what Deanna says. There we go.
It's easier that way.
Yeah, you moms today are different than the moms from the 70s.
Yeah, you're far more absent.
Well, that's because they're Gen X. Like,
No, wait, script. They're not absent. They're raging and making Twitter videos in their minivan while driving to the grocery store.
No, actually,
they're not with their kids.
Most of the kids these days are from my generation, Gen X. So it's like we're too, because we're busy doing our own shit. You just do whatever. Just don't burn the house down and just leave me the fuck alone. Sorry, I mean, I grew up as a latchkey kid, so it's like,
hey.
I'm used to spending lots of time by myself.
Hey, I was a latchkey kid.
Yeah.
Or as my sister says,
as soon as I turned 12, I became a latchkey kid because that was the law. Nowadays, they won't let parents won't let your kid watch themselves if they're under the age of 16.
Yes.
Which is stupid.
It's like the big ones, you watch the small ones, and I got to go to work.
That's what it was. Like when you in my hometown, when you turn 12, if you were a girl, you'd probably be a babysitter by the age of 12, because legally all you had to do is be 12 to be able to be on your own or take care of a younger child.
Mm-hmm.
And all of my friends that were girls were like getting babysitting jobs, and what we had to do, we had to like do paper routes or like maintenance work or something.
Hey, I had a paper route.
Me too.
Me too.
I quit that for like a properly paying job.
I had the largest newspaper route in the city of Fredericksburg growing up. Just
Fredericksburg, Texas?
No, Virginia.
Oh.
Wow. I had about 1,000 clients. And I made a lot of scratch.
Did you ever sell grit?
Oh, grit. I remember that.
Nope, but I know it is, but no.
See, I always thought selling grit was cool. I wasn't able to do that, so I always thought it was a step up.
Hey, I wanted to bring up another comment. Weren't there talks of another Dick Tracy?
Oh, I hope not.
I think
there were talks. I heard,
Warren Beatty still owns the rights to it.
He does. Okay, I was wondering about that because he loves that character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He bought it and he's been holding on to it, hoping for that. Never going to happen sequel.
I love the visual aesthetic of that movie, but I hated that movie.
What?
Dick Tracy.
Did you find it boring?
No, I just
I'm making fun of your cousin again.
Yeah, you can make fun of him. That's okay. I do all the time.
It was boring. It didn't go anywhere.
It's boring.
Stupid.
There wasn't any dick the whole movie. What the hell? And where was this guy named Tracy?
It's boring like Casablanca.
Yeah.
I don't know. Madonna was hot in that, though.
Maybe it's because no one in their right mind would name their kid Richard and call them Dick anymore.
Yeah, it's like
I can understand
my middle name. My first middle name is Richard, and no, I got called Dick like one time, and I like turned to them. I said, "Yeah, you want to be friends with me? Don't ever call me that again." But what am I now? I'm a dick.
So every time we get like a meme or a picture from Gary, technically we're getting a dick pic. Is that what you're saying?
Technically.
Yeah.
That means we've been showing a lot of dick on stream.
Let's
Well,
see.
that just got awkward.
Zach says, "Hey Yeti," and of course Yeti again's making excuses for whatever. I don't know what it is. I'm eating.
Sounds like procrastination.
He eats during the shows, so I don't know why.
Well, he's got to
Yeah, he
have his
does.
daily dose of pancakes and maple syrup. You know how it is in Canada.
Hey, man, that's life.
Yes.
Yeah.
That keeps us awake.
That
Or-
and ham,
or what is the other
or as
thing?
we call it,
Poutine.
Canadian bacon, but it's
No,
ham instead.
poutine. That shit that gives you an instant heart attack just looking at it.
Poutine will not give you a heart attack. You can lose weight on poutine, oddly enough.
Yeah,
Just
you
by staring at
can.
it going, no.
No. Have you ever had poutine?
No, I've just seen it.
Then,
It looks like a nightmare. Why is Kate laughing so hard? I
Because
feel
it's funny.
awkward.
Because I'm in Minnesota, which is just Canadian light.
Oh,
Canada light.
but you don't sound like you're from Minnesota.
You mean I don't sound like the Canadians on the panel?
Yeah, don't you
Because
know?
I'm not fucking
Yeah,
You don't
Canadian.
sound like you're on Fargo.
This racist moment was brought to you by.
I loved
Look at the map.
Fargo. Okay, Fargo was great.
I
Now
still
you
haven't
want to
watched
talk
the fourth
about some
season yet. I gotta
foreign
check that out.
snacks. The Aussie and sometimes English snack, Vegemite.
Oh,
I've eaten that. It's
And
not
it's
good.
weird.
It is.
the guy that when I was working, I was selling cars for Toyota down in Phoenix, and a job I did not enjoy. And he was apparently from Australia, and he left an entire box of crap of his in the desk. And there was this jar of Vegemite, and I was about literally one turn away from opening this jar, and this woman that sat across from me stood up, and she was this petite lady, and suddenly became the most horrifying, monstrous thing I'd ever seen. She goes, "If you fucking open that in this office, I will fucking destroy you." And
That's a little exaggerated.
I've never smelled it because I was like, "What does this smell like?" And she goes, "That is the most gross shit I've ever fucking smelled." And I'm like, I don't know. I was so disappointed. Anybody else smell Vegemite before or had it?
Yeah,
I
I've
don't
eaten
think
it.
so.
It's like beer smelly because it's the yeast.
So you're saying it was kind of yeasty? Was it?
Well,
Did it give you the urge to bake in an oven?
not
Everybody
terribly.
loves a good amount of yeast.
Yes, see, we gotta get the right amount of yeast with the right amount of flour, and then you smack it around a couple times.
But don't get it on your tacos. Yeast on the taco is bad.
But when you're down there doing your job, yeast in any form is bad. So
Why am I
Okay.
making muffins?
My wife says it's gross. You will not bring that in the house either. I don't plan on it, honey. I was just curious what it smelled like.
What you do is you empty out the yeast container. And then you put,
Kate looked excited at your comment. Okay.
Which comment?
I have no idea.
The one about maple syrup or poutine?
I think that one. She did it again.
What?
poutine.
Just looked
Yeah, I
excited.
think the word's funny. Maybe that's it.
Poutine.
it's a poutine, everybody.
It's delicious.
It is delicious. Poutine. Have you been to Smokey's Poutineery, by the way, Script, ever?
Yes, I have.
Oh
I've
my
been
God.
to Smokes. I've been to Poutinis.
Yeah. Smokey's I find a little bit better because of the variety, but damn, they make
It
like
depends
the
on which
Montreal
one you
smoke.
go to. Yeah.
The Montreal smoke wheat one is great.
They have a
but
pulled
the-
pork poutine, which is really
I
good.
know. And they deliver on Uber Eats.
This sounds like a show for stoners at this point.
Marmite Yum Good. What?
Marmite. It's another version of Vegemite. It's
Yep.
That's the one. That's
What is the
one they sell
definition
in
of this
England.
stuff? Is it like
And I don't think
hash?
it's Marmite. I think it's Marmite.
It is a byproduct of the brewing process. It is the yeast compounds.
It's got the same stuff.
So it's like a spread.
Yes, it is a spread.
Yes.
Okay.
It's beer, basically. It's beer. or left.
Oh, got to spread some beer on top of my toast.
It's the beer without the
Toast
fun.
lightly toasted on one side.
Coagulated beer.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
So it's like Nutella but beer.
Nutella is not coagulated beer. It's just chocolate and hazelnut in German.
Yep, and it's yummy.
Yeah, I know. You're talking about spread. That's what I was
Yeah.
going.
Oh,
with.
you mean
I was
the spread
going
that
the
is
fact that
like-
it's chocolatey.
That was something I was so sorry I ever introduced my daughter to.
Yeah, it's pretty much frosting.
Yeah, she would eat like just a whole container a day. And I'm like, oh my God, honey, please stop doing that.
Your little girl would do that?
Yeah, Zoe. Yeah, I taught her some cool little tricks. And these are things, because I grew up in the Southwest in Phoenix. And so I learned a lot of little treats. Like we would cut up tortillas, white flour tortillas. in
Cultural
strips,
appropriation.
and we'd butter them and sprinkle brown sugar and cinnamon on them and fry them.
Oh, yeah, that's the shit, man.
And I mean, it's kind of close to what they do with the cinnamon treats they have at Taco Bell,
Cinnatwists.
which is actually just
Churros.
pasta. It's pasta.
Cinnatwists.
But what we did was cheap and for the poor. I also would eat mayonnaise and ketchup burritos. I get home, there'd be nothing in the fridge but tortilla, mayonnaise, and ketchup.
That is
What you
creative.
What I still do once in a while is you get the tortillas, right? Lay them flat. You then cover them with garlic butter. Then throw cheese on and throw them in the oven for like 5 minutes.
That would be fucking
Quesadillas.
awesome.
Yeah.
I would also hint at mixing a little bit of olive oil in there too for flavoring.
Okay, now do you guys do it true Mexican traditional style and like cook your tortilla over the oven or over the stovetop on the burner?
Yeah, when I was a kid,
I
that was
hired
all
the
we had.
Mexican to do it for me.
I'm not working for you.
You asked if we did it proper. I'm like, yeah, I get the Mexican to do
I have
it
a
for
proper
me.
grill. I'm the Mexican. I don't work for you.
Holy script! Did I hear that?
Jose
I have a grill.
Canedo is my brother-in-law, and he's actually been like my brother since I was 5. With my sister since 1970, and when they first met. And he's a chef, and he owns several restaurants. And it's led to some funny stories where I helped cater some of the shindigs that he did. But he taught us all the little tricks with how to make cheese crisps. Not quesadillas, they were called cheese crisps. And we would eat those as kids. That was a poor person snack that was awesome. Salsa was everywhere. It was cheap as kid.
See, I like cooking up the ground beef with some honey garlic and Frank's Red Hot mixed in, and then you wrap it with cheese
sounds good.
and green pepper in a Pillsbury Crescent.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then you throw it in the oven again. And it's so good.
Oh, Mexican
Not
Iron
with the
Man.
sexy food talk.
Mexican Iron Man made me feel bad the other day.
You see, you get a ground beef and you defrost it. You then soak it in Keith's tears as he wishes he had more food.
It's okay, Keith. I'll tell you how you can make a perfectly passable lasagna using only common
Paper
foods you
towels.
find in the bottom of your sock drawer.
I told Keith when I was living in Virginia, because once again, how did I get from Arizona to Virginia is by parental kidnapping. Long story, but that's all I'm saying. And
a tortilla and a biscuit.
when I was 22, because I grew up in the black community, I was like one of 2 white kids in our community. I got invited to a traditional black Thanksgiving in Virginia. And I've told Keith about this. And I was freaked out by some of the things that they were serving.
Like what?
Chitlins.
Chitlins are good. We eat
No,
menudo all the
fried
time.
chitlins are great.
Yes.
Not boiled chitlins.
Yes.
Because that is not a natural color for anything that came out of a living animal.
Did you throw hot sauce on it?
Gray. It's
fried
gray.
It's fried tauntaun.
Did you throw hot sauce on it at least?
No. But I did eat the fried chitlins, and they were yummy.
Have you guys ever soaked like chicken or your ground beef in like your favorite like root beer or Dr. Pepper for a night and then you cook it the next day?
I've done Dr.
What?
Pepper and Coca-Cola before.
What? I didn't catch that. What did you soak?
Ground beef or chicken in Dr.
No, but I've
Pepper
done
or
it
root
with
beer?
Steak. I've done it with steak.
I've done it with steak.
Oh,
It's a Dr. Pepper marinade. And it's
Yes.
good.
Tell me how good that is.
Guinness too. Guinness marinade is amazing.
I live in Texas.
tequila
pretty much-
barbecue sauce is great too.
Yeah, anything Dr. Pepper, it's like we're experts on down here because it's like that's our
Well,
national.
that was
that's our
the home
state drink.
of yeah. God, I'm so angry. What happened to that bottling factory down
Dublin, Texas. Yeah, I've
there?
been
Oh
there.
my God! Did you watch the documentary on that?
No, I went there. I've been to I've been to Dublin, Texas. I've been to their factory.
I have too,
I've
but
seen
there's a documentary on what happened to them, and
Oh, yeah,
it's
with
an
Dr. Pepper?
amazing
Yeah.
film. If you've not watched it, it's how Dr. Pepper corporate fucked
Yes.
Dublin, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Did they at least wear a condom?
It is corporate greed at its worst.
Fat Steven, Dublin, Texas used to be the biggest Dr. Pepper bottling plant here in Texas. And
Yeah.
when they made their Dr. Pepper, they made it with real sugar from the Imperial Sugar Company. So
Mhm.
it tasted better than that high fructose corn syrup shit. And it was probably better for you, too. And for years and years, since the town grew up around this Dr. Pepper bottling plant, they would rename the place Dr. Pepper, Texas once a year and all these other things. Well, what happened is they started selling bottles of Dr. Pepper with the label Dublin on it to denote that it was from Dublin, Texas, Dublin Dr. Pepper. And people actually used to drive from all over Texas to this tiny-ass little Texas town just to buy the Dr. Pepper here.
Here, I'm going to share this because so people know what we're talking about because it's on Amazon Prime, which is where I watched it. And
I gotta see that. It's only 2 minutes.
this is the documentary trailer.
The original formula Dr. Pepper made with pure cane sugar is closer to the original and a better product.
Hell yeah.
My grandfather was a stickler, and he stuck with sugar. He insisted upon it.
We got people driving from all parts of the country to buy cases of Dr. Pepper.
When he died, it was like Santa Claus dying.
He was buried with the Dr. Pepper in his hand.
People would take it and send it everywhere.
My dad used to drive to meet a guy who'd buy Dublin Dr. Pepper out of his trunk. I guess I had some friends whose dads made drug deals. My dad made Dublin Dr. Pepper deals.
Dublin Dr. Pepper is now a collector's item. After 121 years, the last bottles rolled off the assembly line.
That means layoffs for some Texas workers.
All signs with the Dublin Dr. Pepper logo had to be removed.
When my grandfather
Corporate
grew this thing,
did
Dr.
that.
Pepper has
Yeah.
always been a vital part of Dublin.
Right now, Dr. Pepper officials are filing a lawsuit against the small company.
The Snapple Company.
If anybody was in the wrong here, it was Dublin Dr. Pepper, and everything they're suffering now is a self-inflicted wound.
If you had a complaint, couldn't you have told us about it 120 years ago?
There shouldn't be that much fire wrapped up around a soft drink.
We had an identity. When we said Dublin, people would say Dublin Dr. Pepper.
It has definitely made a mark on the town.
If I were a citizen of Dublin right now, I'd be very, very angry.
We're going to be bigger than we ever were.
Number one, he'd say, don't give up, first and foremost. That's the part that drives me every day.
And they are selling a whole new line of products based on Dublin bottling now. I can go down to the store
I'm glad because
and buy them.
it was terrible what happened to that damn town.
And a little secret, one of their drinks is very much the same flavor as the old Dr. Pepper. I'm not going to say which one, but one of them is.
The one that is cola looking but doesn't say cola.
They have a cola. They have a Dublin cola, but it's not that one. It's a different one.
Yeah, I said it looks like cola but doesn't say cola.
Is it called Nurse Paprika?
No,
They're still doing the glass bottles there, which is awesome because
Yeah, they are
those
doing
way
glass
better than the
bottles.
plastic crap we get around all.
You could taste the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was part of my childhood growing up. Dublin Dr. Pepper.
Well, speaking of documentaries, try the Batman and Bill documentary on Hulu also.
Oh yeah,
That
that's
one's
great.
very well done.
Bill
Yeah.
Finger?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good one. I watched that. Actually, Didn't you and I end up
Kinda
watching
sad.
it close to the same time? I think.
Yeah, the end of that thing is so sad, man. I mean, that is no way. Look, I have not met anyone that isn't in some way or part of Batman fan.
Yeah.
But how Bill Finger passed away is something that I would not even wish on my worst enemy. You know, that is just not good. I mean, sad, very sad. And sadder still that even though he didn't get credit for helping to create the character, that he still ended up working on the Batman television show in the 60s.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, he worked on a couple episodes and didn't get any money realistically out of it compared to another person that took all
Well,
the
he also co-created Green Lantern, so.
Yep.
He does have a stamp on the comic industry. The problem was is that Bob Kane was not the. He was a decent at concept, but he could not execute to save his life.
Yeah,
and he was also egocentristic. He wanted everything focused on him as a creator of something.
Oh, yeah, I never heard that.
Oh, it's you need to watch this
Watch
documentary.
the Finger documentary. I'm telling you, dude. You get it changed my opinion of Bob Kane.
Bob Kane, yeah.
Do you know, like on the art that Bob Kane would draw of Batman, like in the late '80s, he would draw like the scallops on the gloves backwards because he doesn't know how Batman looks.
Yeah.
Not
I think I've seen those pictures. Yeah.
It really changed everything that I thought about the character. As far as I'm concerned, it really should read Batman, created by Bill Finger, based on a concept by Bob Kane. That's really the way it should read.
With influence from Walter B. Gibson.
Actually, this is something I've been wanting to ask Gary for a while. Seeing as you're a comic artist, I want to hear from another comic artist what, and this is not to say that I don't like it, because I love it. I just want to hear from another comic book artist what makes Jack Kirby art so great.
Well, Jack, depending on his work schedule, he had gradient levels of quality of work. But the one thing that always stood out with him was how dynamic the energy felt. He was not very good at covers. He had trouble with doing covers, but his sequential art is some of the best I've ever seen, even though his anatomy was not always the best. The energy of the images were always dynamic, a lot of motion in it. That guy could do something that I can't do at all, because I'm not really a comic book artist. I'm an illustrator that just works in the comic book industry. Whereas Jack Kirby was a straight up comic book artist.
He could convey emotion really well.
His
but the thing is, he was able to get away with that
Well,
because
he
he kept his
created-
model simple too.
Yeah, his models were simple, but and it was easy for him to, because likeness is an issue when you're doing sequential. So he had a very specific way of drawing people that made it easier for him to do sequential art with characters so they always look the same. But a lot of his guys in particular, and his women, all look the same. The only thing difference was their costume, the color of the costume, and whatever was on their heads, whether it was hair or crown
Frills.
or whatever.
I still have OMAC issue #1 drawn by Jack Kirby, written by Jack Kirby.
The thing I loved about him was it was a natural movement for him to do the Hulk, because the Hulk really fit his drawing style. And because of that, everybody that does the Incredible Hulk in one way or another was influenced by Jack Kirby, because he designed the Hulk to look a certain way. And I just watched a documentary. We had the guy on our show, Keith and I had him on there, that was knew Jack Kirby in his last days and did a documentary about Kirby. And it's a really good documentary. You remember the name of it? I don't remember offhand, Keith.
I thought it was Jack and Me. Or
That's
something
it. I
like
think that is it. Jack and Me. and just a really good documentary. A lot of around the house talking about comics and shit. Just sitting around the house, they're talking, and he's showing stuff in his house, and so you get to see artwork that probably never saw the light of day.
Yeah, he would, as he got older, he would, whenever somebody would come over to visit, sometimes he try to give you artwork. And if not for his wife, she would catch you just as you're leaving and take it out of your hand. He's like, I'm going to.
Yeah, that stays here.
Yeah.
I guess that stays here and for the rest of the internet.
Yeah, it's like I love how popular culture brought out that thing that he famously said about punching a Nazi, and it's like, well, when he said it, he was actually talking about real Nazis because he served in the war, killed a few. That's what he meant. He's not talking about Joe down the block that doesn't think like you. But
yeah, it is the thing about Jack Kirby that some people still don't realize that have never seen Argo is that, in case you didn't know,
he was the artist. Yeah.
He was the artist.
Yep.
He did the storyboards,
in real life.
Yeah, he did all the storyboards.
For the fake movie.
That's one of those.
Were gorgeous, man.
Yeah.
Oh God, do they look gorgeous? But I mean, he never said anything. I mean, they told him, you can't tell anybody, so he never said anything. Ever. In fact, they never really revealed that until around the time of the movie, and then I think that got revealed by.
Yeah, he was dead before it got revealed.
Well, it's kind of funny because I don't know an artist in Canada that didn't know it was Jack Kirby that did the Argo stuff because that wasn't classified in Canada, that information.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, the only thing is, like, that I know about it, because we knew that it was Jimmy Carter gave the go-ahead for the operation. They coordinated with the Canadian Embassy to keep them alive and safe. And, yeah, like, all that stuff, that was history for us in, like, the 90s.
Wow.
That's cool, man.
That is really cool.
Because there's so little about Canada I give a shit about. That was a good story. Kate,
just remember, we burned down your White House.
Hey, you know what? I will care if they buy Minnesota because I fucking hate this state and want to move somewhere else.
Move to Texas. It's plenty hot down here. Unless we're getting a cold streak.
Let me tell you something. I was stationed at San Antonio.
It's not the weather at all. It's a terrible state. It's just frozen California with and where I live is literally Boca Raton.
Oh.
It's horrible.
When I was stationed in Texas in San Antonio, we'd get up in the morning at 0 dark 30, and it would be like almost sub-zero, and we'd be told to dress the previous day, to dress in your summer BDUs.
Yeah.
So you show up in morning formation, and everybody's shaking, freezing, and
warms up
then
quick,
you're like,
don't it?
and I remember the first morning we were there, it's like, why the fuck are we wearing this shit, this thin shit? And then like 11 o'clock in the morning hit, and it's like, because it's hot as fuck by noon.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
We have a saying here, which is, you don't like the weather, wait a couple hours.
Yeah, that's Missouri too. It's like,
yeah, that's the entire Tornado Alley.
Yeah, exactly. Tornado Alley. It's like if you don't like the weather 1 minute, just wait an hour.
So that's the type of discussions we're going with. We're at the Weather Channel.
Bloody hours. So.
Well, you're the Yeti. Can't you tell us about the weather?
Keith's brother is on.
Is this the older one, the younger one, or the twin?
That hat.
Is this the one that thinks you're funny or the one that hates you?
No, this is my middle brother. I have 3 younger brothers, and this is the middle one, Big Mike.
And then he has a twin brother.
Yeah, I have a twin brother, and then we got a younger middle brother, and then the youngest brother. And it's the youngest one that thinks Gary is just the funniest thing.
So welcome to watching the show and commenting, Michael. It's good to have you.
Is someone's alarm to their Power Wheels going off?
Oh, that's outside my place. There's
was it
someone's
yours?
alarm going off. I'll mute myself.
No, I was just wondering what it was because it was the weirdest alarm I've ever heard in my life. It's like a clown horn.
Yeah,
it's like
it's outside in the courtyard there. Someone's car is beeping.
We have
There,
a next
they
door
turned it
neighbor that
off.
does that too.
Yeah, I couldn't hear that. So
Well, Canadians have a lower to higher ratio deafness.
Why?
Only when Gary speaks.
Oh.
Well, another good
It's selective.
documentary would be the In Search of Steve Ditko documentary.
Yeah.
Which, if you have not seen that, you should watch that because it'll give you a new understanding and appreciation of Steve Ditko. And in my opinion,
Because I know
is
that's
relevant,
been lacking in my life.
but also it fits in with what I think about Zack Snyder. There are certain character traits and things that Zack Snyder personally enjoys that I still say make him perfect to adapt a lot of Steve Ditko's non-Marvel work.
like he worked on Charlton stuff, didn't he?
Yeah, there's lots of Charlton characters that he did. But I think if you have no idea who Steve Ditko is or don't understand what he actually meant to the creation of Spider-Man and some of the little hidden jokes with Spider-Man's creation that many people still have not realized, like who Peter Parker is modeled after,
Himself,
or who Stan Lee actually is within Spider-Man.
Don't tell me it's J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh yeah,
That's exactly who it is.
Who else can you believe saying, "Give me pictures of Spider-Man authentically," other than Stan Lee and all the time, right? Like,
I don't
Ditko,
know.
I want a picture of Spider-Man for this panel.
Hey, I'm going to
I
share
can
something
imagine it with
because
more profanity,
this just
though.
happened yesterday. My buddy Graham Nolan had a live show, and he had none other than John Romita Jr. on.
Ooh.
Oh.
And go to Graham Nolan's channel on YouTube. Just look up Graham Nolan. And he. Oh, I'm not subscribed to all. Hold
Oh,
on.
and he
I don't
had
want him
Brett
seeing that.
Blevins on there too.
Oh, he's got a lot of his, but he
He's
does the
connected.
same thing we do. We have all my buddies on here that are celebrities, and he does the same thing.
But all his are
and-
famous.
Well, some of mine are too. Graham Nolan's been on my show. He named this show.
Ouch.
Yeah, Graham Nolan named this show.
Pop Culture Minefield came from none other than Graham Nolan.
It fits.
Then why do you have so many downvotes on his page?
Oh.
All the videos downvoted.
Because he's conservative.
He doesn't fit the profile.
I get excited when we get downvotes on our channel. And Keith will tell you, I'll go, we got downvotes.
Well, somebody's watching.
I'm like, I love the idea of somebody hating me. I really get a kick out of that. I don't know why. I'm a dick. I love that.
I got half of the Canadian film industry that probably hates me.
And they don't know because they don't know who Dr. PhD is.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I used to work for a video game and role-playing game store here in town, and the owner is my best friend, one of my best friends, and he was telling me, he said, back in the 80s, or back when we opened up, somebody asked us, what would you do if your store got picketed by a bunch of people and churches and stuff that were against all your Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing products? He said, I'd go get them drinks and buy them pizza.
There you go. Yeti, you wanted to share something about Batgirl?
Oh yeah, HBO Max is pushing for Batgirl and Zatanna projects. Again,
We'll see.
Really?
We'll see.
Yeah,
Well-
we'll see.
Yeah, I never
If
get too
they want to
excited about
impress
anything.
me, they would do one based on have Barbara Gordon team up with the original Batgirl, and the both of them do something together.
Birds of Prey, man.
Yeah,
I'm really surprised that DC
That was
hasn't.
one of my favorite things. I met in 2000. I met Yvonne Craig and her sister Marydell, and became good friends with those two.
Oh, Vaughn was a wonderful.
She was so wonderful. Marydell.
Yeah.
If you ever get to meet her, she's on my Facebook page. Marydell is just one of the sweetest human beings. Her and her sister, they were part of the Zoe fan club.
Oh.
And I took my daughter to the first Blade Runner convention in Tacoma, Washington. She was like not even a year old, and she got. I swear to God, it was like she was like a disease. She got passed around to everybody at the show. Oh, and I think my favorite moment was when William Sanderson, Bill, and his wife Sharon, we were having dinner together, and he's the guy that played J.F. Sebastian in Blade Runner.
Yeah, I love that
And
guy. Is he
he's
really
like,
cool?
Oh my God, he's a sweetheart. They're still close friends.
still wanna
And
meet
we're trying to figure out how to get them on our show because they have no technology. They moved to Pennsylvania. They left Hollywood. They're like, fuck this place, and went to Pennsylvania.
I'm pretty sure they have
And
internet
they're
in
next to the
Pennsylvania.
Amish.
No,
they're banned from anything in
personally
Pennsylvania?
don't have technology in their house. They just wanted to get the fuck away from everybody. And so anyway, he's like, would you mind very much if I feed your daughter? And I'm like, no, go right ahead, man. So he sat there and he starts feeding my daughter at the table. And I'm just talking to his wife, Sharon. And all of a sudden I look over and Bill's crying. And I started like going, okay, is this normal? Should I be concerned? Is he okay? And Sharon leaned over and put her arm on my arm, put her hand on my arm and said, we were never able to have kids after the war. And this means a lot to him, having moments like this. And I'm like, oh shit, wow. So just the sweetest fucking people there. I have tons of photos of him. He even bought one of my books at the time that I did the art for. Just because I did the artwork, I'm like, you really don't have to, Bill. No, I want to do that. I think it's the right thing to do.
That makes his part as JF Sebastian even more poignant than it was before.
Oh, he's a lot like that.
Uh-huh.
And he's just very soft. He's not dim in any way. Very sharp dude. But the dude is just all heart. Absolutely all heart.
He was in, I think he was also in The Rocketeer.
He was.
Yeah.
He was one of the guys that worked in the shop. He was also
Deadwood.
in Coal Miner's Daughter, Deadwood. He was wasn't he the mayor?
No, well, yeah, temporarily, yeah.
Yeah, he
E.B.
came in-
Farnham.
No, he's Carl Rossman, Batman the Animated Series.
Yes.
I mean, I know he's not in Hollywood anymore, but I know he still does stuff and like.
Yeah, he'll
I've
still
seen
do
lots of
things.
stuff.
Like you'll still see artwork from Drew Struzan, even though he retired. It's just that he's no longer ambitious and pushing for work. If something comes along, he'll do it for some money. I mean, fuck it, why not?
Oh, before I forget, we were talking about,
You're
Zatanna
Mexican?
and Batwoman. No.
Oh, I thought you were
I know I'm Mexican. I'm really surprised that DC hasn't picked up their big gun and gone, Dr. Fate to go after Doctor Strange.
Dr. Fate's a trickier character to sell.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, Doctor Strange had an oddly more popular run in the comic books compared to Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate was always like a cool guest appearance. He's the JSA guy. I don't know many stories that are popularized on Dr. Fate comparatively with Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange has had actually more TV attempts and pilots than any of the other magical characters in DC.
True.
He even had a movie that was based on him that wasn't him, but it was him. It was Dr.
Mordred?
Yep,
Yes.
Dr. Mordred.
Well, it was supposed to be Doctor Strange, but
It's obviously supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I bought the movie just because it was the first real, to me, attempt at doing Doctor Strange.
Oh, hell, I'd have bought it just for
Full
Jeffrey
Moon.
Combs.
Yeah, Full Moon.
Full Moon
Pictures.
Entertainment. Yeah.
Brian Dusna. I've
Usna?
never heard that. That was loud.
Well, when I was talking about Batgirl, what I meant was it would be Betty Kane and Barbara Gordon, because they've never attempted to put the two of them together, even though Betty Kane was a member of the Teen Titans for a while in the 70s.
Yep.
Along with Harley Quinn, the original Harley Quinn, the Joker's daughter.
Yeah, I think also Paul Dini kind of got inspired for the character of Harley Quinn, not just from Joker's daughter from the old days, but also there's in one of the first Joker episodes of the Batman series with Cesar Romero, he's got a blonde, beautiful sidekick that pretty much has the Harley Quinn accent, and I think her name's is not Harley, but it's very similar sounding. And when you do that, and then you have like a fever dream of Arlene Sorkin, I can see how you can get those two turned into the current version of Harley Quinn.
Oh no!
And
because the version we saw Paul Dini did is based on her.
Oh yeah, he and Arlene Sorkin used to carpool.
Yep, and he based her character off of the actress, which is why it's such a perfect melding.
Which is why Arlene Sorkin's the superior actor for the role. I mean, Tara Strong's all right, but she's not really doing her own thing. She's trying to copy Arlene Sorkin. And Margot Robbie is, I'm sorry, she's gorgeous, but she is not.
She's also trying to copy in her own way, even though she drops the accent.
She can't do it, that's why.
Yeah.
Hey, your brother Michael wants to know, is there going to be any movie shoots in or around Springfield in the next 3 months? And you're still connected to those people. I don't talk to them.
Yeah. Okay. I know someone who is local that is attempting to raise money to shoot a movie in and around this area.
Is it our friend?
It is our friend, Miss Brittany.
We got to get her back on the show. We got to get her.
We do.
I miss her being on the show with us.
You know what? We'll try to make it. You want to do it for next Friday?
There were three of us. Yes, it was Keith, myself, and Brittany. But Brittany had shitty fucking country internet. Like Yeti.
Hey, my internet's pretty damn good out here.
No, it's more like our buddy Greg.
No, it's his computer that sucks. Janky. The internet's actually great in Canada.
My internet's good. My computer is shit.
It's Greg. It's really Greg from Fanzine, because his internet's janky. And we had to move forward with the show, and I needed her to either upgrade or just drop her temporarily until we got to a point where we could get her some better equipment. Yeah. And I think we're at that point where we can upgrade her equipment. We should we'll do another crowdfunding to get her some stuff, because I'd like to get her back on the show. She was a lot of fun. The best part, and Doc, you would love this, when we do interviews with people, like when we had Phil Morris on the show, I swear to God, the funniest moment is when she forgets she's doing the interview and she's just geek girling out and just sort of staring at Phil Morris. And I went, there you go, Brittany. You're on a show. She's just completely geeking out over him. She's so much fun.
Yeah, she's just the best.
But let's go back. She's doing a film, and I saw the proof of concept trailer this morning, and it looks really good.
It's called Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
And she's put together I think it's got an Indiegogo campaign attached to it.
Let me see if I can find it here. Hold on.
Yeah, because we should go ahead and show the trailer. I don't think she would mind. But Brittany's just one of those people that is just got a
It's
great
already
attitude.
open on my computer. Look at that.
How about that? Like you were ready or something.
No, I was actually on it because the guy who's doing it with her, or the person, because I don't know who it is, they just call themselves Happy Halloween. Let me make sure this is high quality before I go showing it.
Brittany's one of those people that loves Halloween. She just loves that holiday.
Yeah,
that is her
Halloween's
holiday.
not a holiday, just a day.
You stop.
You don't get it off work. You don't get paid.
That's true. That is true.
Here we go. Let me drop.
Holiday, though.
It's a great fun day for a lot of
Michael.
people.
Here you go. This is one of the films that's going to be made around Springfield area. Let me do a full thing here.
It's our town's 300th birthday, and it seems like someone's starting it off with a bang.
How lucky are we that our town was founded on Halloween? Ugh. I wish I had never moved back. think of the dance and said, "Sorry you got stabbed fucking home party."
Jeez.
The corn maze you go through to get to the dance is the best part. I didn't say I didn't want to go. I said I'm not allowed to go.
Is it because your boyfriend tried to kill you last Halloween?
Did you guys get a weird text last night? Was it a dick pic? I hate those. I swear. The guys at the school are pigs. No, it just said trick or treat.
Look around. I go trick or treat like 5 times a day around here.
What the hell are you doing? Get up.
Hadley Briggs, will you go with me to the Halloween dance? Yeah? Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
Everyone knows what happened this Halloween.
Maybe it's a prank? Sympathy points for his dad's campaign?
Yeah, you'd be surprised how quickly a prank can get out of hand. So you just lied? I was scared.
The mayor is issuing a curfew that is being put into effect immediately. The media is having a field day. The killer making Halloween decorations out of their victims and leaving masks behind.
Has anyone seen Lila?
Lila?
Bodies are piling up left and right.
Get the Reaper!
Everyone's a suspect.
Happy Halloween, asshole!
Some people just love Halloween a little too much.
Poorly lit maze at night. What could go wrong?
See you inside.
Wow. And that's our friend Brittany. She's so sweet.
Kind of old school. I like it.
You're muted, Gary.
No, don't let him know that. I want to see how long you go.
I muted it because my wife was talking to me, and yeah, I'm hoping that Brittany will get a hold of me because of anything dealing with editing. I'm a guy to go to because there are some pacing issues with the trailer
and sound.
But I think that's a really good proof of concept. It's a good start, and I think I like her idea.
As long as she doesn't have a high tension twist to it, it'll probably be a pretty solid film. And if you don't know what high tension is, it's basically the person that has split personalities and is actually the killer.
I loved High Tension. That was a great movie.
Then it's not believable. Whose head was that guy, that killer, filleting? if it's a female body.
It doesn't matter. It's just all on her head anyway.
And end scene. But I think that Brittany's on to something with this, and I do. I hope she reaches out to us because I'll be glad to help her with tightening up her pacing. And also, it's like when I watch that, the first thing I look at is You need a reverse shot here, not the shot you're showing. You should have a reverse shot. And what I'm talking about is the scarecrow thing. Reverse shots are always great ways of establishing tension. When you show something either from behind what might be the monster or from the POV of the killer.
Yeah. I can see what you're saying.
Editing and writing go hand in hand.
What?
Right,
How
script
much?
doctor?
That's right.
How far are they into their development? Is this
Keith?
like their?
Because it seems like she's been working on this for a while, and when she told me the idea, it sounded really good.
Yeah, I mean they're ready to go as soon as they get the money. So this could very well be filming probably at the end of their campaign. I know they've already gotten money. I know that there's been a lot of people that have donated to the campaign.
Okay, so this is like a trailer just for crowdfunding for proof of concept.
Proof of concept.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was thinking there's a couple dialogue things that just weren't resonating in there. That a little tweaks and it would bring it right up. It wasn't a big thing.
What you can tell by watching that proof of concept trailer is that these clips were shot specifically for the trailer.
Yeah.
And not for a movie, but for the trailer. And it always feels slightly stilted when you do that.
Yeah, there was something off with the way they talk to each other.
Also, when you have the director, Brittany, editing her own stuff, this falls into the category of something I always talk about. Directors should never edit their own work unless they are already good editors. And because they have a tendency of going too long, and a lot of those shots went too long in the trailer. And of course, there was a missing sound effect when she stabs the dude near the end of it.
Oh yeah. I could see why. Yeah, you'd be too close to the project, so everything.
So what I'm saying is, Brittany, I will be glad to help. It's I know how to do that stuff. Anyway,
hey, I'd love to help.
I'm not just some critical douche because I love you. I love the stuff you're doing.
I like the concept. I really want to go to some party.
A town
where there's
founded on
maze.
Halloween. Come on.
Yeah, well, and a maze before you get to a party. That just sounds fun.
Yeah.
And I think that she should have established early on that this is a mystery. That
the killer wasn't found or something.
Yeah, one of these people is the killer, kind of thing. Which one? Oh, I love that.
Well, it's kind of like a play on Scream.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to go to a party that has a maze. It would be amazing.
Oh God, shut up! You're not even a dad and making dad puns.
I've raised 7 children. They're not mine, but
they're other people's. I borrowed.
I would be legally responsible.
We do that in Canada. It's
for
legal
3
to
of them
borrow
for
other
another
people's
4 more
kids.
years until
be,
they're of age.
It's called Canadian kindership. We're allowed to borrow other people's kids.
Well, look, again, it's Happy Halloween. You can find it on Facebook, and I think on Twitter also, if I remember correctly.
I'll find out, and we can talk about it next week. Where to find it on YouTube. In fact, you know what? I'm going to bug her. You and I should both bug her and get her on next week.
Yeah. She should definitely be on our show.
Come on and talk to her on our show.
Please. You must talk to us, Brittany.
So, but anyway, let's wrap this fucking shit up.
Okay.
Let's see. I don't even think Fat Steven's with us anymore. I think he.
I am with you, but since I don't know much about the topic and it's your friend, I'm not going to do cracking jokes when you're trying to promote a project.
True.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, see, Gary doesn't like it when I'm honestly nice because he always expects some shitty ass joke. Salty.
Fucking love that. All right, man. But thanks everybody for showing up. And here comes our outro video. Keith, thanks, brother. I love you.
Forget you. Goodbye, Ducroix. Take care of yourself. Goodbye, Deja Vu. I'll always remember you. And I'll miss you most of all, Scarecrow.